Multiple weeks due to hamstring injury suffered in the loss to the Falcons. Cooper Rush will start Sunday against the Eagles. The Cowboys might also be without CeeDee Lamb as he suffered a sprained AC joint in the loss as well. The San Antonio Spurs went down to the Los Angeles Clippers 113-104. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Howdy, friends. Happy Tuesday. Oh, you don't hear that often. Oh,
It's a extremely little Friday.
Minix with these headphones. It's like,
Did it blast you?
yes.
Well, he doesn't use headphones. He uses the TV thing.
Like he's Madonna.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
He has. It's got the
my
flesh-colored mic.
My in-ears.
Kind of the I always call it the Garth Brooks thing.
Oh,
that
I
little
get it.
flesh-colored little wire that sticks right there. Why don't we get those?
I don't want those.
I do. That would allow us to dance.
That's true.
It would give us freedom to move about and dance in the studio. This vast open space.
That's actually a good point. Yeah. I'm sure we blew the whole budget on Minixes, and they're not going to buy them for anybody else.
Well, so Minix, see, the thing with Minix is, before I got here, there was an outbreak of ear mites.
Oh.
And, I'm not kidding. And he got ear
I thought
mites.
that was what cats got.
Or somebody got ear mites. Yeah, well,
People can get ear mites?
evidently. And it's those shared headphones that, sometimes we are forced to share. So
Who shares headphones?
Well, I'm talking about the travel ones that we travel.
Oh.
Oh, see.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah. So I think we've now improved our hygiene, and that's no longer an issue, though I do believe it marked Minix for life.
Who was it? Who was the filthy
It was
beast?
before I got here. I don't know.
Oh.
But that was back in the dirty 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know. It was back in I guess. I don't know when it actually occurred, happened to Minix, but he's been kind of scarred, and I don't blame him.
How long has this station existed?
This building has been open since the 50s.
Okay.
The sports station, the original zone, I actually opened the doors for this, although I was living in Orlando. So this would be
1964.
It was 19 and aught.
Peace and love.
Let's see. I'd count it by. No, it was about. I think they opened the doors here in 08.
Okay. All right. And then, and you and Minix and who else?
Well, Minix and a guy named Chris Duell,
Okay.
who's across the street now, does mornings on OAI.
Does he still?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently yesterday was I don't like to talk about people's business, but apparently at the a major radio company.
Oh, dude.
There was a bloodbath yesterday.
I lost some. Well, I lost. Had some friends.
Yeah.
I mean, our industry is, for lack of a better term, shrinking.
It's volatile.
It's like being a newspaper writer.
Yeah.
Something of what we do will exist some way, somehow. We're just all trying to figure out what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And yesterday, iHeart started here as Clear Channel. There's a lot of local people that are affected by this. And iHeart went through another round of massive mid-management.
And
talent releases across the country. And some good sports programmers lost their job yesterday.
A lot of guys in Dallas. A lot of guys.
Dallas, Tampa.
I think some
Cleveland.
Like a sales manager
here in San Antonio.
Yeah, some good ones. So.
And this is on the waves of heels of another one. So, our industry's rough, man. It's like we get to do the best job in the world, and we get taken out like it's the mafia. You never see it coming.
Yeah. I remember like when I left radio the first time, when I left my job in Houston to move to Vegas, they were like, you're gonna stop doing radio?
Yep.
And I was like, yeah. And they're like, wow, no one does that. No one leaves on their own. Usually you get shot in the head and drug out.
Yep. And I did the same thing. And
of course,
it's in your blood.
I come back, but I was like, can't be that weird, right? And they're like, no. And now in hindsight, now that I kind of stepped out of it for a while, it's like, yeah, nobody chooses to walk away
you
from
leave
it.
feet first.
Yeah. So sorry to those guys.
Thoughts and
Bummer.
prayers, man. What's that saying? The most successful people in the world were sitting right where you are today, and they took the first step. Now it's up to you.
Like Minix was sitting here yesterday. Is he?
Yeah. Well, he's already, like I said, one of the most successful people in the world.
Must be.
Jason Minix.
Must be. Big day today for a couple reasons. It is the NFL trade deadline. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. Major, massive decisions will be made today.
That affect you probably more personally.
Yeah. This
than
is
anything
going to
that's
be
going to go on in D.C.
Yeah, this is your future could change today. The future of your children could change
Could
today.
very much change today, and that is no joke.
With a simple trade for a draft pick. I mean, it's as simple as that. And you need to let your voice be heard. And it's your right as a fan. And I think you shouldn't take it lightly. Let management know what you're looking for as a team, and speak up. If you're a Cowboys fan, speak up.
Say your piece.
Now's the time. After today, you're gonna have to wait. There's nothing could be done after today. So if you haven't spoken to your leaders yet of your franchise, now is the time to do it.
But don't call Pop. He's indisposed. That
That is true. But it's not the trade deadline for the NBA.
I'm just saying, if you have something to say,
Yeah.
speak out.
Yeah. Is it wrong of me that when I heard the Pop situation, and I guess we'll lay a little background out for it. We'll talk about this in depth later. But when I heard that Pop was out for a while with a medical issue, they're being very vague. Not only are they being vague, like there's Chris Paul talking about it like Pop is on his deathbed or something.
Papa had suffered a medical incident yesterday, and despite the doctor's best efforts, Pop's going to be just fine.
Look, listen.
What?
I haven't. I don't think any of the guys on the team have. Obviously, we wanted to, but trying to give him his space and trying to make sure we can control what we can control.
What is the kind of the mood of the team around that? Because I'm obviously worried about him personally. There's also basketball.
Absolutely. I've only been with the team now for a few months, but I've paid attention to Pop my entire career. And he, I think, is one of the best, if not the best, at putting everything into perspective. And he's so selfless, and he makes sure we understand how privileged we are to play this game and to be in the NBA. But he'd be the first person to tell you not to worry about him and to go out and hoop. But of course, all the guys with our team, staff, everyone definitely miss him because he's Pop. So there's a feeling when he's in the room that just comforts everybody.
Anytime you talk about perspective when someone's in the hospital, it's like, oh my God.
Well,
Okay, what's happening?
Is it so? Here was before all this. That was right before the game last night. Before the Chris had a pregame availability where he was talking about the Pop situation. The sound you played off your computer.
that was Coach. That was Mitch.
Okay.
Mitch was the one that led with Pop's been an icon. And
Oh my God.
like Pop was, and he'll be okay.
Yeah, he's still good.
He's okay now, but it just seemed it's a little scary. So I think there's some worthy discussion, one that we've toyed with for the last couple of years, that certainly we're closer than further from naming a new coach. And
Is it wrong that yesterday when they said he wasn't going to coach, my first thought was he doesn't want to be on the podium for the next few days answering questions about an election?
See, the difference is Pop would love to be on the podium for the next few days.
All right.
Not he doesn't want to be. And I don't think ownership cares whether he gets up. He's been free to say whatever the hell he's wanted to say. So I think if Pop wanted to have a podium, he'd have the podium.
Okay.
I don't think he's running from it. And because he's just been that outspoken over the years.
Well, we'll talk about the Spurs. We'll talk about their game last night. We'll talk about Greg Popovich. We will also talk about the latest with Dak Prescott, as we found out yesterday. His injury is a multiple week injury.
Sometimes the flowers just sort themselves, AJ.
There's just dirt being thrown on this season. What if Cooper Rush wins like the next 6 games?
I feel it.
It's Cooper.
Oh, my God.
I'm looking for number 19, baby.
Give me some drama. Make this season interesting, Cooper. Oh, go out there, throw for 320.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we joked about this 2 years ago.
Imagine he does that for about 3 games, and CD says, I just think we should roll with the hot hand, and Cooper's playing so well. We just got to see how if we can keep this rolling.
Cooper would be on the street. They'd cut him.
Oh,
Jerry
no.
cut him. Keep in mind, there's $40 million says I got to play this other guy.
Yeah.
What's your pittance you're getting over there, Cooper?
God, how great would it be though if they're taking that? Now you just hope for drama.
Oh, we got drama.
I mean,
you don't have to hope for it. There's more coming. We still haven't had clarification on Zeke. We've got a wide receiver now with an AC joint that really, I think the way he played the other day was he was trying to prove a point. There's some more drama coming, baby.
I got a feeling now that Dak is out for a while, CD's going to be all right. He's going to come play.
I would say we're not going to see CD for 2 weeks.
I disagree. I think he'll be on the field Sunday.
I hope he is.
I think he'll be out there. We'll talk the college hoops that tipped off yesterday. A little KD Stephen A drama. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the college football playoff. I guess the announcement tonight, the unveiling, that's the word I was looking for, of the initial college football playoff poll. And, there's plenty more to discuss. And, of course, there was a Monday Night Football game last night. We'll talk about that next. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Working a couple of stalls as you head into your early morning commute. 37 southbound New Braunfels and on 35 northbound at Walters. Both of those are off to the right shoulder. We are getting reports of some debris in the roadway. I-10 westbound at Crossroads and I-10 upper level eastbound from Woodlawn on over to Frio Street. We've got some road work underway, so we've got the roadway reduced to just one lane. And some flooding on I-10 Frontage Road eastbound at Foster Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment. Each contract you own will pay $1 on January 8th, 2025 if that candidate is confirmed as the next U.S. president by Congress. Learn more about the presidential election contracts on Robinhood at Robinhood.com/election. The risk of loss in trading commodities interest can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Commodity interest trading is not appropriate for everyone. Displayed prices are based on real-time market sentiment. This event contract is offered by Robinhood Derivatives, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Exchange and regulatory fees apply. Learn more at Robinhood.com/election.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What Mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish, chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Showtime! There is actually a presidential election today. Good luck to you, to those of you who played that game.
Both in real life and in the book.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have some wagers down on that.
Mm-hmm. That's the new.
It's the new heat,
but
baby.
This is truly. It's as close to day trading as anything.
Yeah.
Because it is really on the whims of the bettors. This really has no. I mean, the only outcome is on the whim of the bettor, like a day trade, like a put. You're just hoping other people put as well.
Remember when Trump won, Hillary was a massive favorite, and then when Biden won, Trump was a massive favorite. So it doesn't really. Yeah, the betting market is very fickle with this stuff.
Yeah, this is not about the outcome. This is about the line.
And when I talk about I've got money down on the presidential election, I have money on both sides where it's gonna I literally can't lose because both at one point have been favored, so I've got underdog prices on both candidates. So it's like there's no it's not a tell of what's going on. Now normally I think if you see big moves today in the market, in the betting market, it means that someone knows something, but I think like for the weeks leading up to it, there's no way to know.
I also think you could manipulate today too.
You think so?
Oh yeah, people are so hair triggered right now. Everybody's terrified.
The weirdest thing about this election to me is that people on both sides are fully convinced that their person is going to win, which means there's about half the country is going to be really disappointed.
Well, that's one thing. The other thing is if there's a majority one way, yet the Electoral College goes the other. That's the nightmare.
okay, so this is one thing I do believe. Like when you're talking about the betting markets, you can bet right now Kamala to win the popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's like minus 800. Like there's no doubt who's going to win the popular vote. Like and I believe that number is probably representative of the truth. Like in popular vote, it's going to be a landslide. Popular vote doesn't matter. That's the Electoral College is such an equal. I'm fascinated. I don't know. I normally don't care about. I try to be apolitical. I don't like politicians. I don't like politics. But I'll probably be paying some attention tonight. Between Schefter tweets,
I find it. I appreciate the fact that the NBA took the night off. There'll be no NBA games tonight. I appreciate the gesture, but of all the nights
give me
that
some
I need
distraction.
a basketball game, please. Why isn't somebody playing? Now you could have scheduled one game or two games. Everybody else could have had the night off, but give me Bronny. I'll take Bronny tonight.
Give me a G League game,
man. This is. I'm just.
I got news
think I'm
for
like
you, buddy.
A lot of us were all guardedly just let's get through this.
I got news for you. Florida International and Rice.
There we go.
On ESPN Plus tonight.
This is one of those football games I'm really going to be done
No,
into.
it's basketball.
Oh, dang it. We should have football, though, right?
Oh, yeah, we got Maction.
See?
Maction tonight, baby. How about that? Yeah, don't worry. If you're not into politics, you've got Maction. Bowling Green at Central Michigan, Miami of Ohio at Ball State. So that can distract you. Yeah. Nothing like a game in Muncie, Indiana to take your mind off of what's going on in the world.
Downtown Muncie.
Yeah, obviously this is I didn't want to go through the show without addressing it at all. It's a big thing that's happening today, but it's if you're looking for more deep dive discussion on it, you ain't gonna find it here. That is what it is. We'll be talking Bowling Green, Central Michigan before we talk
things that genuinely affect your life.
Yeah, like the real stuff.
Yeah, things that really make you happy or sad.
The really important stuff, like Rice, Florida International basketball.
Or like if you're an Aggie, having not only your football field rushed, but the basketball court rushed in 3 consecutive days.
What is going on with that?
3 days. And UCF, they rushed the court.
I think that was
the Aggie basketball.
That was the dead coach court rush.
Yeah, it was. So they had to go through that, and then there was the ass kicking in South Carolina. Had them climbing out. Do you know how? I know that you have to write a check to the university that was standing on the field. You literally do. Like Texas had to pay Georgia for all that crap they threw on the field. Like Georgia gets a payment for that.
Good.
And when they rushed the field, same thing. So maybe the Aggies made a little bit of money.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Nothing like getting your ass kicked and having to rush the field, but maybe you got a little bit of money. You know, maybe we can find another blackout uniform. Can we wear blackout every week?
Well, last week you couldn't because South Carolina wanted to. And
see what it did for them.
Yeah, you're right. That was a big moment for them. Yeah, that's it's something that's working right now, isn't it? The blackout uniform.
You. They called the UTSA uniforms blackout. They were blue out. They were just really, really navy blue.
Yeah.
And I didn't get we had Coach Traylor on yesterday, and he talked about the uniforms. He said it reminded him of Permian.
Yeah.
I thought Permian was black and white.
Black and white, yeah. Black and silver.
Yeah, that's what my
maybe it was just so dark that's what it looked like.
Maybe that was their roadies where they were all black.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that was you warned me enough to keep me off that game last night. That was an emotional game for UCF. It was. I think anytime you've got a big, a player dies or a coach, you're gonna get like a boost from that.
And it's not like UCF was terrible. That's a Big 12 basketball team.
Yeah,
but.
They're not supposed to be better than
No, they're not. And A&M just walked into a buzzsaw, and that was a little worrisome.
But A&M, honestly, they should have worn black, and things would have
been a whole lot different. Boy, but we got the exhibition last night. Gonzaga Baylor, they took their lunch money. Cooper flag.
My goodness, Gonzaga bitch slap Baylor.
It's such a strange. I appreciate it. I mean, the good thing in basketball is any loss you take today, yes, it means
doesn't matter.
Like literally nothing. It's an exhibition game until you get to conference. It really is.
But it does sort of. I mean,
there's purpose behind it.
You can because Baylor's obviously a team going into this season like Gonzaga And there's probably a dozen, maybe 15 teams right now who realistically think we've got a shot to win a national title this year.
Yeah, I think there's some, even in their pretenders. But, yeah, I think there's 20 teams now that are practicing as if we got a shot.
I'm saying what they believe.
Yeah, there's 20 teams out there that practicing with the right transfer. Yeah, we got a shot. We're that good. Yeah.
And when you, in your very first game, go up and go against another one of those teams and they beat the snot out of you, that can change your mindset a little, I think.
You know, the first game, you never know. And especially when you roll into Spokane, man, that was a snake pit.
But not even in the kennel. That was in the big building.
They went to the big building. And what I took away from that game was Coach Drew there at Baylor. I don't know what he was trying to do to his players, but to go in and play a zone against that Gonzaga team to start the game out was to invite them to whip your ass. Because you just let them shoot all night long. And once you decided to leave the zone, then they went Princeton on you and outsmarted you. They took his lunch money both ways last night. Coach Drew baptized his team.
When you go full zone against a team like Gonzaga, you end up with Gonzaga shooting 42%. And
man, it shot well.
Dusty Stromer was shooting it. Nolan Hickman, Khalif Battle, everybody was draining him. Hickman, Nimhard, they lit them up. And
Battle made them tougher. This is a
good
different kind of Gonzaga get. Duke, I got to see my man, the future, Cooper.
I didn't get to see any of him. But I mean, obviously the stat line's impressive. You're so high on that dude. It's like
go just spend 5-10 minutes watching.
I need to dig into him a little.
He's a point guard. I mean, it's in his blood. It's in his veins. He wants to be the guy with the ball in his hand.
He looks very good.
I mean, he's still a kid. He's only 17, but my goodness, it was a nice beginning.
Jeez. That's so wild that this 17-year-old kid who could probably play in the NBA right now and be just fine.
He will be 18. He turns 18 in December. A year from now, he'll be 18 starting in the NBA.
Okay.
Wearing a Utah Jazz uniform.
Right now, I tell you can have the future of Cooper Flagg or the future of Wemby.
Oh, it's Wemby.
Okay.
Cooper is more ready today.
Okay.
Already. He's already more ready than
kind of
Wemby
like we talk about
today.
Holmgren. Like Holmgren's game is just more complete right now than Wemby's.
Yeah, but I'm talking about at 17. Wemby.
That's wild.
Cooper's already ready. I mean,
that is wild.
Chet's 4 years removed from that. Wemby's 3 years removed from that. And Cooper is already more advanced with the ball in his hand than those two guys are.
Okay.
Already ahead.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. That's
a lot of Coopers.
Oh yeah.
Cooper.
Oh yeah. It's a big day for Coopers. Cooper. Yeah, we'll talk about Cooper Rush later on in the program.
Some are born to greatness, others are named it.
All right. Well, I want to talk about that football game last night. The Chiefs continue to find a way. It's fascinating to me. And later on in the show, Rob, I want to discuss, like, are the Chiefs the best team in the NFL?
You are what your record says.
I know you say
are.
that. But are the Chiefs the best team in the NFL? We'll talk about that. So a lot to discuss. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about your weight, your health, how you feeling today. Dr. Jacob Torres has been my doctor for a couple of years now. Well, my doctor for a couple of years ago. I first met him about 8 years ago when I was looking at losing some weight. Well, I wasn't even looking at losing some weight. I met Dr. Torres, and he took a look at me and said, you probably need to lose some weight. And after we talked about how I got to where I was, he convinced me to give this a shot. And I'll tell you, while it hadn't been the easiest thing I've ever done, it's been the best thing I've ever done for myself. Because I'm probably a lot like you. I kind of reached a point where I didn't think I could lose weight. And I wasn't even going to do anything until a doctor actually said, you're going to lose weight or you're going to die young. Well, Dr. Torres said the way I was living, I was going to die young for a lot of reasons. And if I needed to correct things, the first thing it was to start eating healthy. Once you start eating healthy, suddenly you start losing weight, and a lot of other things start getting easier, and a lot of things that were keeping you from working out and doing the good physical stuff kind of go away, and that's just with the weight loss. Now, the reason I lost the weight was because he put together a program that was designed for me, not something off of the internet, not some kind of book, some one-size-fits-all, just eat broccoli all day long kind of thing. This was engineered for my body type, my history. See, I got a full workup. I got a physical ahead of time. We found out what my needs are and how I got to where I was. The program put in place, and it worked. If you want to find out how it can work for you, Here's the numbers, 210-468-1891. His website is iffhealth.com. Trust me, go there. Answer the questions he asks. If it's time to lose weight, if it's time to live a healthier lifestyle, 2025 is around the corner. You can get there a couple inches skinnier. Call him today, change your life, and come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Working a couple of stalls as you head into your early morning commute, 37 southbound New Braunfels and on 35 northbound at Walters. Both of those are off to the right shoulder. We are getting reports of some debris in the roadway. I-10 westbound at Crossroads and I-10 upper level eastbound from Woodlawn on over to Frio Street. We've got some road work underway, so we've got the roadway reduced to just one lane. And some flooding on I-10 frontage road eastbound at Foster Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The 90s called. They said the Gordita Supreme is so back in the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's all looking fresh to death with the pillowy 90s Gordita Supreme alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stacked taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and medium drink. All for just $7. It's your wallet's favorite cheesy crunchy combo here for a limited time. Grab yours and relive the decades only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last. Contact store for price and participation, which varies. Drinks and food freezes. Tax extra.
JCPenney has more gifts, bigger savings for every holiday wish list. Celebrate the season that never stops giving. From denim to diamonds, PJs to perfume, and mixers to massagers. We're giving you more options than ever at a value that helps you give a little extra. Looking for more bright ideas? We've got the big brands everyone wants. From Levi's to Legos, there's more to love for them and you. All the deals, all the feels, all the gifts to go around. JCPenney. Make it count.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Kansas City Chiefs continue to find ways to pull it off, and they did it again last night.
And then they had to add in a little drama, a little bit of Shawn Michaels is hurt. Oh, I don't think he's going to be able to play help. Is he okay? And he comes charging back onto the field to lead them to victory.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is made of something that most normal people aren't, and he seems to have an uncanny ability to bounce back from injury. I remember a couple years ago, it was like, oh, his leg's broken. He's going to be out for forever. And then he was back in the game like a few plays later. It's like, this guy, you can't stop him. And speaking of can't stop him, there was a play last night. The play that it was the touchdown pass that was like the go-ahead. You can't stop that play. It's everybody. I mean, he's running up to the line, and that defender has to make a choice. It's like, do I peel off this running back, or do I let Patrick Mahomes walk into the end zone? And as soon as he makes his decision, Patrick Mahomes just kind of pops it up in the air.
I don't think you should be able to pitch the ball forward. I think if the ball is gonna go over the line of scrimmage, I think you need to throw it overhand.
I mean, he did. He kind of just
that's kind of a option, kind of a forward little pitchy thing, little pitcheroo kind of thing. It wasn't a. Am I wrong?
Like you're wrong.
I mean, yeah. I'm wrong in that it would be a change in the rules, but you just brought it up. This is pretty freaking unstoppable, man. I mean, it's one of those things that give the defense a chance. You already can't do anything else, and now he can pitch it underhand. It just seemed to me a forward pass, your arm needs to be at least at the level of your shoulder. You don't have to go. We can't even figure out what out of bounds is, but I'm gonna have them legislate this.
Yeah.
There's 100 other things we can't figure out, but I'm serious.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna win that battle.
That little pitchy woo thing, little forward little pitch thing, that's impossible.
The short,
but you have to have chicken arm. It has to be like even so that I know as a defender. I don't know, man.
The double play feed,
something like that. You can't go underhand. I don't know. I know it when I see it.
Yeah, you're not going to get rid of that.
Good luck. Anyway, carrying on.
But there was a false start a blatant false start that didn't get called. I know I'd sound like a broken record bitching about the officials in Chiefs games.
Yeah, we can't figure out where your arm in that. They can't get that right.
Yeah, a false start they can't find. But
now, are you mad this morning, Buck fan, with your coach's decision to take it to overtime? Because we talked about this literally yesterday. In the coach's manual, it says when you're at home, you go to overtime. When you're on the road, you go for the win because you don't know when you'll be back.
Yeah,
and that's not what Tampa did last night.
Well, Tampa they were 4-4. It felt like they had something more to play for. So when I was making the argument yesterday for New England, it's like your season's dead. Like, who are you trying to fool here by, dragging this thing out? Let's just put your cards on the table, and if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you go home. Tampa's they were still in. I mean, they are still in it.
But it's Mahomes. You can tell as soon as they lost the flip, game's over, man. You went and you relied on winning a coin flip instead of your guys.
That's what it boils down to. Yeah, is you hope that you win a coin toss.
And when he decided to go, I'm not going to say I was mad at it. I mean, when he decided to kick the point and let's go to overtime, because shoot, looked like Baker had the mojo, man. He looked like he still had some juice, and it wasn't like Kansas City had slowed him down previously. So I get it. But in hindsight, I can see if I woke up this morning as a Tampa fan, like, what the hell are you doing giving Pat Mahomes the ball? Go ask Buffalo what that's like.
It ain't good. Yeah, it doesn't end well typically. But yeah, you really got to win that coin toss against him. You really need to win that coin toss.
Who's our best caller?
Yeah, anybody got a feel?
Anybody practice this?
Anybody got a feeling? In your gut, in your cockles.
You feeling it?
You feel it in your bones.
Butker, did God tell you anything?
Yeah.
Butker, you prayed lately? Get out there and call the flip.
No, I kind of get it because, like I said, and because the truth is, a 2-point conversion you have about the same odds as a coin flip.
Pretty much.
I mean, it really
right.
is. A 2-point conversion is about a 50-50 thing. So I guess it makes sense that you're hopeful that you can get the ball and never let Patrick Mahomes have a chance, but
it's kind of like that old axiom: you never get into a land war in Asia, and you never give Pat Mahomes the ball first in overtime.
It's good advice.
One of the
good
both
advice
of those always apply
in football and in the game of Risk.
Yeah, all of those apply. So just put that in your pocket.
I've never actually played Risk.
What? It is a Thanksgiving tradition.
Is it really?
Literally, we play Risk on Thanksgiving Day.
You know why I've never played it? Because I don't want to feel dumb as the 40-something-year-old man who doesn't know how to play Risk.
It's easy. You would if you sat down to play Risk and had no idea how to play, by the time it was your turn, you'd know how to play.
Okay.
It is not a difficult game. The most difficult part is I don't think they've updated the map. Our map is about 25 years old.
Okay.
So a lot of countries on our map
don't exist.
Long past. Long bloody coups and all kinds of wars have happened in the years since we bought our Risk. So we're defending lands that aren't even things anymore.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, yeah, that happens.
Because I'm not sure Kamachakta is really a thing.
Kamachakta.
Yeah, and Irkutsk. I'm not sure that those two lands still exist yet. I have spent many a day defending to my last man the mountaintops of Kamachakta.
Well, if I could know that I would be not looking like a fool for trying really hard to defend Kamachakta, I'd be in. But I feel like people would be like, oh my gosh, can you believe this guy's putting all these resources into defending Kamachakta?
And just load up on Iceland. I'm just telling you now. If you don't load up on Iceland, you're going to lose North America.
Kamachakta's a hole.
It is a
What do you
hole.
want with that place?
But it is a keystone. It's
a valuable
necessary part of the total European domination that is required
for Risk.
It's
one of these days.
World domination.
So let me ask you this: now that the Chiefs now, while they look to be the best team in the league based on record,
They're not the best team in the league.
They are 8-0. I mean,
they are what you are, what your record says you are. But
they're winning.
You asked the question.
I'm genuinely curious because 8-0, they're winning by an average of 7 points per game. What are the Kansas City Chiefs? Are we going to see a three-peat? Like, is it a magical thing that it's just going to keep rolling? Or
if I was to tell you on Sunday, Kansas City, Detroit, neutral site.
I think I would take Kansas City.
Wow. See, I would take Detroit, and I'd take Detroit, and I would give you a touchdown.
A touchdown? You're out of your mind.
Right now, man, the way Detroit is playing,
you're out of your mind.
I think they're a juggernaut. I think they win by a touchdown. I'd give you 6 points, 6.5.
They just beat your guy yesterday.
Yeah.
The Chiefs just beat Baker, your boy.
But Baker was alone, man. You want to talk about the gunfight at the OK Corral? He was standing in the corner firing darts to Leslie Shepard or whoever the hell that guy was.
That Kate Otten is a nice little piece. I'll tell you that.
And Bucky Irvin runs hard. I mean, they're a very well coached, if under talented football team without those wide receivers. And I continue to just be consistently impressed with Baker Mayfield because he is a professional. I mean, he shows up, he lifts those guys. He's going to do everything he can to win, and he's limited. There's things that Baker will never be able to do, but what he can do, he's doing very well. He can't play any better than he is right now.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 4-1 to win the Super Bowl right now.
Man, it's something. Seriously, do you believe that the innate quality of understanding how to win will outdo talent every time?
I do think that winners win.
Yeah, winners win. That's what they do.
There is something, and I on that same. I think that losers lose.
Exactly.
Which is what I love about the Jets is that they're losers. But
so with that alone, AJ, I hate to fight it, but yes, Kansas City is. They've got Mahomes, and they understand that when all things are down, if I do everything right, Mahomes will always come through.
And think about that. Like, where's the Super Bowl's in New Orleans? If we're in New Orleans for Kansas City, Detroit, are you really you're gonna pick the Detroit Lions?
You know,
think about the history of that franchise. Think about what
the
Lions are as a franchise, and you're saying I'm gonna pick that team to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Because there's that. I get it. But if you just are logical about it and you draw the line down on the paper and you write the every reason you could come up with why Kansas City will win, I can come up with more reasons why Detroit will win. I can go accuracy and skill positions and defense and special teams and depth. And I'll even give you some motivation and coaching. And I'll give you all those. And I go Kansas City, it's Pat Mahomes, and it's their defense, and it's Spags, and it's offense, and
yeah,
but Pat Mahomes counts for 3 of those check marks. So I get it, but to me, if you just go logical, Detroit, if they bring their A game, should beat them. But Mahomes is that big. It's that nebulous. I know what I'm doing.
He really is,
and it's that Bradiness that you cannot quantify. You just can't quantify that kind of greatness.
Like, can you think about the future of your life from right now till the day you die? Do you think there will ever be a day where Patrick Mahomes fails to record a touchdown in a Super Bowl?
No.
Like if he's in the Super Bowl,
no.
Like what is there ever a time where you think the final of that game could be 13-3? Patrick Mahomes loses the Super Bowl.
No, there's no way you keep him out of the end zone. There's just no way. I
saw a Super Bowl where Jared Goff's team scored 3 points, and it's like, that will never, ever, ever happen to Patrick Mahomes.
No, I agree with the idea of that's why logic you have to throw out the window.
And by the way, that Rams team was better than the Patriots that season. And when the Rams played the Patriots, winners win. And that's just what it boiled down to, was winners find a way. I hate it. It pisses me off to no end that I think the Chiefs are just like this endless. It's like I'm being pranked.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like I'm being pranked that every week they find a way to win. Now, mind you, what did we say yesterday? The Chiefs are playing almost double digits. They bet against the Chiefs. If the Chiefs are a big favorite, bet against them because they win every game by 3 points. Every game feels the same. It's Groundhog Day. You wake up, it's Chiefs game day. You know it's going to be tight. It's going to go down to the bitter end, but you know the Chiefs are going to win.
Because they wait for you to make a mistake and they pounce, whatever that is. 3 and out and punt with 2 minutes to go, that's the mistake. We're going to beat you. You didn't kick the extra point. You didn't go for 2 and you went to the flip. We're going to beat you. I mean, you cannot open the door, leave it cracked, even leave the door unlocked because they will beat you unless you put a stake in their heart. And it's that unquantifiable thing that, unfortunately, if you haven't been a Brady fan or a Mahomes fan, it's been about 25 years of that. We've got one vampire after another that you just can't kill.
Rin says Cam Ward is similar to Mahomes. Miami Hurricanes are winning similar to Chiefs. Boy.
Man, I wish somebody loved me as much as Rin loves Cam Ward.
That is wild.
Yeah, he's Mahomes. That's him.
Yeah. All right.
I love him. Don't get me wrong.
Good player.
Maybe on a small scale, on the little scale, from 30,000 feet, he is doing some Mahomes things, and maybe one day he'll be there, but I'm not going to put those two in the same sentence.
Good player. He I was born in Bay City, Texas.
Home of the Black Cats.
And I grew up in Sweeney, Texas. That's like a little tiny town. And the Sweeney, Texas's big rival was West Columbia, the Roughnecks. And Cam Ward's a West Columbia Roughneck.
Yep.
And respect, hell of a ball player. I've seen Cam Ward for enough years to know that Cam Ward is not Patrick Mahomes.
No, there's no shame in saying
there's not.
You know what?
You know what? You could be really, really special and not be Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen is, I think, he's my favorite football player, and Josh Allen ain't Patrick Mahomes.
Sorry, you are no Patrick Mahomes. Well,
Lamar Jackson's got 2 MVP trophies.
You, sir?
He ain't no Patrick Mahomes.
No, Pat Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is in a class where only guys like Brady and Manning and Joe Montana and John Elway and those types walk around. Cam Ward ain't in that conversation.
Yeah, but can Cam Ward be carried off the field and look like he had been sniped and then come back with a valiant, with an ankle that has just been sewn together, held together with gauze pads. And here we are.
Alexandra says the funniest thing AJ, are you saying the Bills aren't going to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? Of course I'm saying that. What am I, an idiot? You think I'm going to be like, I'm telling you now that one of the worst, like in my adult life, I won't even count, when the Bills lost to Super Bowls, I was a kid, and it sucked. It especially sucked the last two because I lived in Texas, so I was surrounded by Cowboys fans, and those games weren't competitive. It was embarrassing. And back then, I was like, I was full of hope. You know, like that.
You weren't rode hard and put up wet like now. Yeah.
Since then, the two biggest kick in the ball moments of being a Bills fan. One was the Music City Miracle.
We all know where we were that minute.
I know exactly where I was. I was in the NCO club on Fort Campbell, and it made me sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that replay 100 times, and in my eyes say, "No, that was forward." And they're not going to change the call. Even if they had replay today, they would not overturn the call on the field.
It's too perfect.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Frank Wycheck.
Did he pass away? I think he passed away.
I think he did, yeah. And also at that time, I was living in Tennessee.
Oh.
So there were Titans fans everywhere.
They came out of the woodwork, man. One of the truly great football moments of my life. That was amazing.
Oh, awesome. I just told you it was like one of the most painful memories for me, so I'm glad you enjoyed
Well,
it.
I mean, I had no dog in the fight. It's just one of those most ridiculous plays I've ever witnessed.
And that Chiefs-Bills game, 13 seconds is like going to haunt, because it was the first time. Now, mind you, the Bills went, but from that Music City Miracle, they had the longest stretch of not making the playoffs of any franchise in sports. So every other football team, baseball team, basketball team, hockey team made the playoffs between the time that the Bills had the Music City Miracle and made the playoffs again. So I was so beaten down as a sports fan. And then I saw the Bills get to a playoff game with Tyrod Taylor and lose to the Texans. That sucked. I saw the Bills lose on a missed field goal last year. That sucked. But that 13 seconds, there was when
that brief shining moment.
There was a small moment where I let myself get hope, only to have it dashed by the dastardly Patrick Mahomes.
I'm curious. Your most haunting sports moment. Did that change your life?
No, because all I did was sit down and go, why did I let myself believe? Like, that was so dumb of me to fall. And now that I spend so much time sports betting, I'm so jaded as a sports fan, and I don't have I bet against my team all the time. Any team that I cheer for, I would cheer for.
See, I still can't do that. I just won't bet.
If I were an Aggie fan, I would have taken South Carolina plus 3.5.
See, I can't.
All
it's bad
day.
mojo. See, I'm still on the bad mojo. That's bad luck.
No, what it would have done is
matters.
You would have won $500, and
I'd rather not and lose with. I can't.
Then send that $500 to the Aggie organization and say, hey, throw this into the.
Well, there's no fun in that.
Throw this into the quarterback kitty. But yeah, I'm jaded. But that was the one. There was a brief moment where I had hope, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm done.
I'll never love again.
I'm done with hope.
I'm closing off my heart.
I'm done with hoping that Patrick Mahomes is going to lose. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys!
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
When I wake up,
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Hey guys, it's AJ from the Morning Huddle. Between us, when you hit a certain age, things start to feel a little off, right? You're tired all the time, your energy's low, maybe even your drive isn't what it used to be. And a lot of that comes down to testosterone, and trust me, it can happen to the best of us. That's where Game Day Men's Health comes in. They know how we feel, and they make it easy. Game Day Men's Health is over there on Bassey Road, across from the quarry. Their office has a relaxed man cave vibe, and they've built a 3-step process that's quick and designed just for us. First, get your T levels checked. Free testosterone test at their in-house lab. Then, you meet with a licensed provider to create a customized plan. And finally, you'll get those fast weekly treatments. After a month, you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, and a kick in your libido. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit IFFhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay. The place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay. Things people love.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a couple of stalls at 35 northbound at Walters and 151 westbound at West Military Drive. Both of those are off to the right shoulder, so your main lanes are getting by. Still have some flooding reported on I-10 eastbound Foster Road. It looks like we've got 2 left lanes and 1 right lane blocked. I-10 upper level eastbound Woodlawn to Frio Street. Now that's some ongoing road work, so the roadway still reduced to just 1 lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is expected to miss multiple weeks due to a hamstring injury suffered in the loss to the Falcons. Cooper Rush will start Sunday against the Eagles. The Cowboys might also be without CeeDee Lamb as he suffered a sprained AC joint in the loss as well. The San Antonio Spurs went down to the Los Angeles Clippers 113-104. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 2. Alexander says the Chiefs are going to win out too. Broncos, Bills, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns, all wins. No, Alexandra, the Bills will beat the Chiefs in the regular season. That's the game they'll win.
Only to toy with my emotions.
Yeah. I've read this story before. Like, I know how this ends.
There is a certain Garpness to it. In the movie,
what does that mean?
The World According to Garp, in the movie, the book. And this guy is shopping for a house, and he's standing in front of the house, and an airplane out of nowhere crashes into the roof. And the realtor's standing there like, oh, crap. And the guy goes, I'll take it. And she's like, what? He goes, well, what's the chances of another plane landing on this house? So at some point, a plane is going to hit the Chiefs. I don't know when it's going to happen. It might not ever happen again. But at some point, when you live by this, a touchdown or less, over and over and over, eventually it gets you.
David Tyree pins a football to his helmet.
Eventually, it's the worst case scenario. You come back from it, but eventually you get struck by lightning because that's just the odds.
You're right.
Eventually, it's going to happen.
I mean, there was a time where I thought the Patriots would never lose, and then they lost. And it's like, okay, it happens.
But I don't think it's anytime soon because last night we saw it yet again. There's just too much there for them to – as long as Mahomes has a pulse, they're going to be there.
Yeah. You're right. It's gross, but it's true. It is absolutely true. But one day, we can all hope one day. You know, I'm not saying that I was hoping that his foot was going to have to be amputated when he limped off the field. I didn't feel that way.
God, he acted like it.
But the thought crossed my mind that if his foot was amputated, he would be really good on TV.
After I saw what Kerry...
well, that was a great pass, and, it was just like... I saw him there, and imagine Tony Romo, but in Kermit voice.
No, sadly, Pat does not have a future in TV.
What?
No.
Yeah,
sadly.
well, man,
doesn't sound right.
He can do a lot of stuff. He can go out Dancing with the Stars, and he can do some stuff. But
Well,
he can't
not with
do
one
TV.
foot. You can't do Dancing with the Stars if you had an
After
amputated
I saw
foot.
what Kerry Von Erich did without a foot, I think being without a foot, you can murder your wife without both feet.
I stand corrected. You're
I mean,
right.
you can do all kinds of good and bad things without legs.
That's true.
This is a modern. We are in the 21st second century.
There's good and bad amputees on both sides. Both sides, good and bad amputees.
I'm not kidding. I'd put money on clubfoot Pat Mahomes.
No prosthetic. He's just got somebody carrying him.
Yeah.
He's got Travis Kelsey, and
Now let's give him a shoe with like
DeAndre Hopkins carrying him off.
one shoe with a really thick sole. I'd give him that. I'd still put money on him.
Yeah.
He'll still win.
Still win.
Dude just doesn't lose, does he?
Peg leg Pat Mahomes. I'll give him 10 points.
Although I guess he did. He lost a Super Bowl too. It
happens.
Think about this. Patrick Mahomes has how many Super Bowl rings now?
3.
3. Consider in a different universe where the Chiefs beat the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So you take one ring off the finger of Tom Brady and put it directly onto Patrick Mahomes. Like, we would already be talking about
Probably.
when is Patrick Mahomes going to pass Tom Brady?
Probably, but I'm not sure Mahomes is ever going to last as long as Pat did.
But if he had 4
as long
already,
I agree.
In like his first 7 years in the league,
but I think it would have gone even shorter. I think the moment that, and thinking about winning 6 Super Bowls is nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, but the moment you win your 6th, maybe you're done. I just don't think. I think when it's all said and done, Brady's going to hold most Super Bowls, but Mahomes is going to have everything else. I just don't think it's just. I don't know if we're going to see any team able to sustain like Philly did. I mean, the way that New England did for that long. I just don't know if it's possible anymore.
So this is kind of like the best way to decide. Like in the NFL, the way we say who is the best player at their position every year. It's not Pro Bowl. It's All Pro.
Yeah,
like
All Pro.
If you're an All Pro, that's like, ooh, that is the that's the cream of the crop. Tom Brady in his career was first team All Pro. How many times do you think?
10.
3.
3?
3 times in his entire career. You know why? Because Peyton Manning existed, and Peyton Manning in the regular season was just, this is not opinion, this is a fact. If you don't count the playoffs, Peyton Manning is a significantly better player than Tom Brady.
The problem is people don't remember that.
They don't, because it's rings. Like that's all that matters. We live in that society, but that's the way that it will always be remembered is Brady and Manning played together, and if Manning hadn't played in the Brady era, he'd have more rings. And it's true, but Manning was a better football player than Tom Brady, just not in the playoffs.
I also think that the last we saw of Manning, it was neck Manning, and he was a shell of himself.
True.
They were running the football and doing the Tebow offense with a better arm.
True.
The last we saw him. So I think we forget how much of a threat he was.
But the last we saw him, wasn't he holding up a trophy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We forget.
Still.
So he's holding a trophy, but they did it in ways that it wasn't a thrilling,
No, you're right.
downfield kind of game. So I think there's a generation, because Peyton was only good for about 6 years. I mean, there's a blip in the grand scheme of things.
7-time All-Pro first team. It was more than 6 years.
Well,
it
no,
had
what
to
I'm
be.
saying, but there was this window, and it was surrounded by Brady on the front and Brady on the back. So
Yeah.
he kind of swallowed everything that Peyton was on the field. Although he's remembered more now for his personality than his play.
5 MVPs. 5 times they said that is the best football player in the whole world. I mean but Tom Brady come playoff time. Tom Brady has 3 MVPs, so it's not like he's a bum, but 5 is much greater than 3. Like, to get 5 MVPs is crazy. And in history, Peyton Manning's going to be remembered as a lesser guy than Tom Brady
on the field. Yeah,
that's why I don't know what Mahomes is going to be like. Mahomes, if you don't have 6 rings, numbers don't matter.
Well,
you can have everything else. Peyton Manning has everything else. Peyton Manning statistically is the greatest.
We're victims of the moment for sure, and I still think Mahomes probably got minimum 5, probably more than that left in his career. And I think when he's done, we'll look at him as the best of all time. I think I think there'll always be the LeBron, Michael kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think when he's done, I don't think there'll be a lot that will argue that at the very least he's 1A. You know what I mean?
What's funny is if you ask 20-year-old AJ, hell, 25-year-old AJ, will anyone ever be in the discussion as greatest quarterback of all time that's not named Joe Montana?
I know.
I would have said no. And Joe Montana statistically, he's not even on the level of these guys.
He had to
but
be
at the
there.
time, it was like, Joe Montana's got 4 rings.
Yeah, you had to be there to know you weren't going to beat him. It was a lot like Mahomes. If you had to play him in a playoff game, you weren't going to beat him. You had to come up with a miracle.
And it's like, how could anyone be better than that? And since then, it's like Joe Montana's about to get pushed off the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. Think about that.
Mm-hmm. And we're victims of the moment. Certainly, I get it. But for those that witnessed, just like for those that were there for that brief Shining Peyton moment era where you go, holy crap, this is the best guy I've ever seen. Yep, time passes.
But the problem, I always say people get victimized by what you grew up with.
Yeah, the moment.
And you don't want to, whoever your hero was when you were a kid, that's who you believe is the greatest ever. Like, I worked with a guy named Hugh Lewis when I first got into radio. He did the.
He's a good musician. He's pretty good.
No, just Hugh, not Huey. His daughter actually married Tyronn Lue. Wild.
I'm trying to come up with a song lyric, but I couldn't.
Yeah. But his whole thing was Jim Brown is the greatest running back ever, and I'm like, well, first of all, I didn't see Jim Brown. But if you're telling me Jim Brown is better than Barry Sanders, I mean, it's cool you think that, but Jim Brown couldn't do the things Barry Sanders did, and now it's like my son sees Saquon Barkley, and he's like, "You've never seen no one's done this stuff before." And I'm like, dude, you gotta look up Barry Sanders on YouTube. But it's everybody believes what you saw as in your formative years is what you believe in. Quarterback is so different to me because, again, I saw Joe Montana and I saw how great he was. Joe Montana ain't Patrick Mahomes. He's just not.
Well, he didn't have to be. No. I mean, he was the Pat Mahomes of his era, and you are as good as you have to be. Now, the greatest, they stretch it a bit, but there's the reason why Michael is Michael after Dr. J. Dr. J was as good as he had to be. He had taken the game further than it had ever been. We didn't know it could go further. And then there was Michael. Joe Montana took the game, he and Jerry, as far as you could take it. And then there was Tom. And then there was Pat. And they keep pushing the envelope, taking it further. But in that era, they were the best we had ever seen. There was no argument. Now, I'm a victim of the moment, but as the years have passed, as much as I hate to entertain the argument, I'm willing to entertain the LeBron thing. I'm willing to entertain it.
I'm so surprised you say that. Yeah.
I know. Oh, I know. But I'm also, having done this, having seen, I'm now in my 4th era. You know what I mean? I'm in my 4th era of basketball, from the ABA, NBA years to the mid-NBA years to the Michael years to the Spurs years. These generations of 15-year segments and 10. I know what I'm seeing now is better than what those guys were doing. I know that. It's hard to admit, but back when Michael was doing it, LeBron does things that Michael could never dream of. Now, Michael did some things LeBron never could, but over time, I'm willing to entertain it. I'm not quite as locked in as I used to be.
My dad and I would debate. My dad worshipped Nolan Ryan. You know, my brother's name is Ryan.
But baseball is the one sport, seriously, that I do think, at least over the last 30 years, is transferable. I think if you were doing it in the 60s, I think you could do it now.
Well, I think that's debatable. But I saw Roger Clemens, and I was like, Roger Clemens he's a better player than Nolan Ryan.
Do you think Roger could step on a mound today and do what he did?
No. He's an old man.
No, I mean in his prime.
Oh.
The Roger of then would step on the field and still be an ace. And Bob Gibson would step on the field today and still be an ace.
Dude,
he would still rope these dudes.
You think Babe Ruth could come in?
No, not the batting side of things. I'm talking about that straight up pitcher on the mound. I think that's a thing that you haven't changed that much.
Dude, I think, guys in the 60s were topping out at like 94 miles an hour.
I agree that there's some
Those
speed.
dudes, they'd be gone to the moon.
I think that of all the sports, I think that baseball pitching is the most transferable of eras.
But I also thought 5 years ago, Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player that's ever played baseball. I'm not going to see anyone better than him. And here I sit today, and I'm like, Shohei Ohtani, it's a different thing. There's always something that comes along. There really is.
There's always the next.
Like the one guy who might be safe from that ever is Wayne Gretzky. But then people are like, oh, this Connor McDavid, like, no offense to Wayne Gretzky.
And
it's like
I remember when Lemieux was already on the ice, and they were going, could be Wayne.
It's wild. And then go look at Mario Lemieux's career stats and put him next to Gretzky's, and Lemieux, like, he might be the second greatest player of all time, and it's not even close. That's why, like, Wayne Gretzky, I always say he's probably safe. But you know what? Jerry Rice might be safe too, because I saw prime Randy Moss and prime T.O., who I both thought were certainly more physically gifted than Jerry Rice ever was. And by the time it was all said and done, it's like, well, Jerry Rice probably better than them. And
for 1 year, Randy Moss is the greatest wide receiver I ever saw. For a career, Jerry Rice is the greatest wide receiver
I will say this. If Randy Moss cared about football the way that Jerry Rice cared about football, Randy Moss would be – Randy Moss – if I could build a receiver in a lab, it's Randy Moss.
For a year, best ever set foot on a field.
But Jerry Rice did it over and over and over again and just worked harder than everybody.
See, we're not old men sitting on a porch. We're willing to accept some new stuff.
Yeah. Like, obviously now, Cooper Kupp is the greatest wide receiver of
all time. He's quick.
Another Cooper.
Yes, he's
another Cooper.
He's a coach's kid,
He's
first
a-
to practice.
he's a mini
He knows
Cooper.
the game. He really is. It's an innate. He's got some short field quickness.
Oh, all right. We'll be back. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
I hope you woke up this morning feeling good. I hope you didn't have to worry about your hamstring keeping you out of life for the next week. If it is, you need to call a Rosti. Professional athletes use a Rosti just like everyday folks to get themselves out of pain in ways you might not have considered. As a regular guy, as a weekend warrior, or someone who does the honeydews, and you deal with pain, so many of us go buy some kind of ointment and go put some pills in our throat and hope it goes away. And eventually that stuff doesn't go away. And if you're living with something that you want to get rid of, why? Arasti is here to fix it. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio with one abiding goal, and that's to get you out of pain as fast as possible. And they're good at it. On average, under 4 visits, get the patients back in the games they love. And you ask how? Well, it's what they do that's so interesting, because it's not about medication to dull the pain. It's not about surgery to prolong it. It's about your body healing itself. So if you're dealing with hamstrings or a sprain or a pull or any kind of soft tissue injury, maybe you're dealing with a frozen shoulder, stiff neck, maybe the tension headaches that are starting in the middle of your shoulder blades and punching you right in the middle of the face. If you're dealing with any of that, Arasti can fix it and fix it fast. So what are you waiting on? You don't need a referral, and they accept most insurances. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website is Arasti.com. It's spelled AIROSTI.com. Great site. It's got a map of all the local providers. I bet you'll find one less than 10 minutes from where you are now. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call Arasti today. Let them take care of you, and after you're all feeling good, come by and thank me later.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
I have to ask the sun. At some point, is that ever going to be addressed?
Talking about it.
In the stadium, the 325 sundial effect, it just seems something that we can fix. Let's put some curtains up.
Okay. Noted.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Having trouble finding that luxury timepiece you've been dreaming about? You might be surprised to find it at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct now invites you to our exclusive luxury watch collection, now stocked with some hard-to-find, brand new and certified pre-owned Swiss timepieces. At Diamonds Direct, our buyers have been scouring the country finding the watches you can't get anywhere else, including a fabulous collection of new and pre-owned models in immaculate condition from Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, and more. We've got Rolex Submariners, Datejust, Pepsis, Batmans, and other hard sought-after models. So if you're tired of waiting for years to get that luxury watch you've been wanting, stop waiting. Walk out with it today at Diamonds Direct. And if you have a fine Swiss watch you want to sell, our buyers are always willing to pay top dollar. Maybe it's time for a trade-in or trade-up. Come and see the all-new luxury watch collection at Diamonds Direct. Get showroom directions, hours, and learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to SASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Why'd you say it like that, Vic?
Don't ask why, just do. He's producing us.
No later than 7:35, he said.
Yeah, no later than that.
Why would you say that?
Because we have to meet a spot deadline.
Huh. Interesting.
Remember the traffic
He is the boss
spot?
of us.
Yeah, okay.
They were airing out of
Okay. We got to put
their
them in their
little
window.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
That's all it is.
We don't want to piss off Debbie.
Yeah.
The electric lady.
Oh, Debbie.
A lot of us have grown up listening.
Yeah, she got mad the other time.
Good. Let her be mad.
Hey, that's not. I don't want.
Tell her to come on down the hallway and say it to my face.
I don't want Debbie mad at anybody. We
Come
need
on
the
down here,
electric lady
Debbie.
giving us the traffic as she does. So well.
Debbie! Debbie knows. Debbie knows. We were looking during the break at the Super Bowl odds, because we talked about the Chiefs Super Bowl odds. Let's take a look at the bottom.
Why?
I mean, just
why?
Well, I'll tell you why in a minute.
All right.
I'm going to name off some teams.
So you're going to name my team, and I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I'm going to name off some teams that basically have no hope. The Carolina Panthers, the Cleveland Browns, Las Vegas Raiders, New England Patriots, New York Giants, Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jags.
Okay, they had hope. Jacksonville had hope.
Jacksonville had hope.
Yeah, they had hope.
Cleveland had hope.
They had hope. It's been a long time, but yeah, they had hope.
And
Those two.
The New Orleans Saints.
And the Saints had hope. And the Cowboys. Cowboys had hope.
Those eight teams, Saints, Jags, Titans, Giants, Pats, Raiders, Browns, Panthers. Those are the only 8 teams now that Vegas thinks has less of a chance to win the Super Bowl than the Cowboys.
Well,
that's the group that you're in now.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, okay,
like
so
they
4 of those teams.
The Colts have better odds.
Because they've already hit bottom, and they're supposed to be coming up.
The Bears have better odds. The Jets have better odds. The Arizona Cardinals are more likely to win the Super Bowl.
Well, the Jets, that's stupid.
The Cardinals are 4 times more likely to win the Super Bowl than the Cowboys, they're saying.
I mean, yeah, but no, 4 times more likely in this scenario, in you know. But the Jets, come on.
The Jets!
The Cowboys are better than the Jets.
Are they?
Well, not today.
I don't know.
Not the 70s. No Jets.
What? Oh, hey, Roger Staubach ain't walking through that door either, Vic. I got news for you.
Although we had him in for a tryout yesterday.
Yeah,
they bust him in out of the old folks' home. They brought him in.
Oh,
he has to play before 5, but they might be able to.
Yeah, but he's there.
Just in case.
What an absolute mess this has become. And again, if you were the biggest Cowboys pessimist, which Joe Reinagle might be that. Joe Reinagle might be like the guy who is, and I've only seen him for one preseason of the Cowboys, but he might be the most down on the Cowboys of anybody I know.
Well, I think the informed Cowboy fan came in going, so many things have to go right. That have to be perfect for you to thread the needle here. That your area of opportunity is so small that this is going to be hard. It's possible. It's possible. It's been done before, but you're going to have to do it just right. And when you get into situations like that, the first thing that goes wrong, the dominoes start falling and the collapse is imminent. And that's what's happened. So that a lot of Cowboy fans are going, told you so, when in fact we all felt like, yeah, there's no line, but. Yeah, there's no defensive line, but. And yeah, there's no this, but. If we do this and that, and, it fell apart so fast that everybody's going to say, I told you so. But the fact of the matter is, most Cowboy fans looked at this team and went, there's just enough there for me to believe.
But did you think at any point it could be as bad as it is right now?
But we knew it was possible to be this bad.
See, I didn't.
The worst case could be this, but you think the worst case could happen, but very rarely do you truly get worst case, and we've hit it. This is worst case.
as a not Cowboys fan, as a true outsider, I thought there's no way this was the floor. I didn't think their floor was as low as this. I thought in a horrible, terrible nightmare scenario, the Cowboys could go 8-9,
and they're right there.
I don't think this team's going 8-9, dude.
No, as we sit today,
they might go 5-12, 6-11.
With no Dak over the next couple weeks, it's going to be brutal. But again, it's the worst case scenario of what do we hope goes well? Not only did it not go well, it went poorly. I mean, it didn't even go average. It went the total opposite of what was expected or what was required to thread the needle. And even threading the needle, they were a 12-win team. Even if everything went perfect, there were going to be 5 losses that we were going to look back on and go, how did that happen? I mean, my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't picture it being this. And feelings.
Don't you need that though? Don't franchises need that moment of clarity to get out of the averageness? Don't you got to get kicked in the nuts to the point where you never want to be here again?
Oh yeah, but most franchises don't give out the contracts they gave out before this year and then try to wipe it clean, because now you can't.
$90 million salary cap hit for Dak Prescott next year. $90 million. Roughly 40% of your salary cap will be going to 2 dudes.
It's like going in, like you've got everything on a dry erase board, except you wrote 2 things at the top of that dry erase board in permanent marker.
So,
and then you try to wipe it clean,
Yeah,
and that's
like,
still there, and you're like, oh.
So what happens?
Well, how do I start over? You can't.
You don't.
And see, where Jerry made that flaw, made the fatal mistake signing Dak, on day one of this, it's just a dumb thing. But imagine if we were sitting today with this record, with Dak hurt, and he didn't have a contract. What would your attitude be about the Cowboys if he had never gotten that contract?
I'd be thinking, man, I wonder how high are the Cowboys going to pick? Who's
who
the guy?
Are they going to sign? Who's going to be the next quarterback?
Is it going to be Shador? Like,
Seriously.
we'd be having those discussions.
We would be in such a different place right now. There would be, at the very least, Cowboy fan would have some hope.
You'd
for
feel
the
like
draft.
there was a fresh start coming.
Right. And what Jerry effectively did was lock this team into, at best, averageness for the next 3 years, because he's going to have to extricate talent. And we didn't want to have to talk about that until after the season, and now we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, it's this is going to I don't even know if we've seen the floor. I don't know if we've seen the floor.
Do you think it could get worse? You think it could physically, like 5 straight losses, 6 straight losses?
Not that Dak's been anything great, but yeah, just look at that schedule.
Yeah,
there's losses coming, man. Yeah, and that's the other thing. You've got a backup quarterback now and no run game.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
it's hard to fathom that, guys, it could get worse.
Dude.
I mean,
man.
Honestly, if you looked right now at the Cowboys schedule, the Cowboys will be favored in 2 more games this season. I'm not like planting a flag. Crazy things can happen.
No, you're right.
But other teams could lose their quarterbacks, etc. But Eagles not favored, Texans not favored, at Commanders not favored, home Giants is one spot they'll be favored, home Bengals they'll be dogs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, depending, but
at Carolina likely to be favored, home Bucks not favored, at Eagles, home Commanders. It's the Giants at home and at Carolina. Those are the 2 teams that are worse than Dallas.
So if you're Jerry and the clock is ticking, 0 minus, well, I guess trade deadline's 4 o'clock today.
Yeah,
our time.
Yeah,
and you look down and you're with your trusted advisors, and hopefully they're people that aren't yes men, and then they're telling you, look, this is where we are. What do you do today? You got some talent. You know you're going to be paying through the nose somebody next year. You got a little bit of something that people want. Do you begin today?
Well, look at that statement on the board. Let me see if this is it actually.
Well, it goes well beyond 5-1.
Oh, no,
Cooper Rush is as respected as a backup.
Here we go.
It almost feels like it's our turn. Over the last couple of years in the league, it's been, certain teams battling certain injuries, and man, it just seems like injuries just kicking our butts this year. And now it just starts with our, our heartbeat of the team, our QB1, and that's obviously Dak Prescott is going to miss a couple weeks, but what I would say is we've been here before. I've been here before. When Dak went down, was it my rookie or second year? He missed 5 games because of hand issue, and we ended up going 4-1. So it's something that I'm not saying I'm used to, but it's something where, like, we've been here before. We can overcome this. We've been better. There's people that's, coming off of injuries, me, myself, DB, and, a few other players are shaking back from the injuries they had. But obviously we got to face this. We got to overcome these challenges and, controversy and get ready to play. We got a big division rival coming up this week. And I would just say, the biggest thing is we're probably just beating ourselves for the most part. If you look at that game,
you're getting beat.
Obviously coulda, shoulda, woulda, but breaking down the film and watching it, look how many, false starts or, misalignments or
look at how many things that bad teams do happen.
We could make that play. We can make that tackle. We can, just very small things that, win football games. You win football games by small margins. The fact that we lost by 6 points and, we're without, significant players. We didn't play our best football. We, killed ourselves in penalties. It shows you that, the record is 3-5, but, there's a bunch of games here where you say we could have won if we done things the right way. Obviously, missing out on key, leaders on the team. Obviously, things aren't panning out the way we want to. But, we got this great stretch of great teams coming up. Great stretch of great teams. And we got a chance,
Sounds like we did.
Sing, and I ain't hear her sing yet. I ain't hear her sing once yet. So, you know what I'm saying? As long as I'm still alive, as long as I'm still part of this team, I'm going to keep on fighting.
That's the money
Obviously,
quote.
you want everyone to keep fighting.
This team.
But, it is what it is. Everyone's going to keep fighting. We're going to keep doing our thing until that fat lady sing.
As long as Micah's
that's point blank period.
A part of this team, they're going to keep on fighting.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's going to be part of this team. Like, I don't know. Because honestly, like if you have a 5-12, let's say, or 6-11 football team with the contracts that they've got, can you justify paying him in the offseason?
Nope. I can't. I think that I look elsewhere before I move Micah. I look at Trayvon. I look at CD. I look at other pieces. Micah's come around about every 10 years.
I agree.
Trayvon's come around every other because we got one soon after in Deron Bland. I'm looking elsewhere. I really am. I'm trying to do everything I can. And it doesn't mean I don't end up trading Micah because I gotta because of Dak's deal. I gotta lose some money someplace.
And you can't really lose CD's money yet either because you just signed that deal.
You can't really move it, but I'm looking to move everything possible before I move Micah.
The problem is you don't have anything that has that kind of value.
I do think that, I think CD does have some value. I think Trayvon does have some value. I think, but we're just talking about the money guys. Moving, Deron Bland doesn't do anybody any good. I keep that thing, but I'd move whatever dollar contracts I can today.
All right, well, we'll talk about this more. I got to tell you about Game Day Men's Health, 250 East Bassey Road, right there in the quarry. I'm telling you, I'm already feeling it, Vic. You convinced me to go and to get my testosterone looked at. And I was like, I got my blood tested. They said, okay, here's your numbers. Sat down with an expert. He went over my options. And then I picked out the treatment and got it done all within an hour. I thought it was going to be like, go in, give blood, come back the next day. They're going to talk about some options, and then come back the next day, I'll get some treatment. No, not the case here. They do it all at once, all in-house. And once you hit a certain age, you start to feel tired. Things change a little bit. My T was actually still in the okay range, but they're like, okay, is that what you want to be living with? Do you want to be okay? You're a candidate. Do you want to feel better? And I said, yeah, I do want to feel better. And that's where Game Day Men's Health comes in. They know how we feel. They make it easy. They do it all in one place, like I said, and you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, kicking your libido. I love this because I've got the pellets where I don't have to go in once a week and get the shot. But if that's what you're into, you can do that too. I've got mine's like the slow release. I'm not going to have to go in for like 4 or 5 months. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day. Get yourself in a better mood. Get better energy. Get a better libido. 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better. Be better. It's Game Day.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are in good shape as you head out and about this early morning. Traffic volume still light. 35 northbound at Walters, that's a stall that's off to the shoulder. Another at 151 westbound, Military Drive, disabled vehicle, right shoulder blocked. On I-10 upper level eastbound, Woodlawn over to Frio Street, that's some ongoing road work. We do have the roadway reduced to just one lane. In Bernie, I-10 westbound Fair Oaks, that's a stall off to the shoulder. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Texas.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Huebner Road or on Ralph Fair Road.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
During Dell Technologies' early holiday savings event, save on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Shop Dell.com/deals.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly web credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is a big day today. I'm not talking about the election. I'm talking about NFL trade deadline.
Cowboys buyers, sellers are standing pat. We'll react to what they did or didn't do with Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk at 5:15.
Yeah, we haven't talked Houston Texans in a while. We'll do that, though, with ND Kalu at 3:30.
And the latest, if there's an update on Greg Popovich, The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The NFL is on. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Zadarius Smith, Browns pass rusher, headed to Detroit.
Man, Detroit is all in.
They are making their
love it.
push. Zadarius Smith having a solid season. 24th rated pass rusher, edge defender on PFF.
Is his contract expiring?
Believe it is.
Okay. What a great go get after losing their edge.
Yeah. I mean, is he, I don't know that he's like.
Oh, no, but
he's not Aiden Hutchinson, but for a guy you're bringing in, like, yeah,
what a get,
you
man.
have a hard time getting better than that. Like I said, he's the 24th graded pass rusher. To put it into perspective, Will Anderson Jr. is 19. Max Crosby is 20. So that's the quality of player that you're getting. It's like, dude, that dog will hunt. Is
what they give up?
Say.
Do we know what they get?
I think a 7th rounder.
And I hope Jerry's near a phone.
I mean,
that's the kind of thing that you'd like to hear from your owner.
But
we talked about earlier, winners win, losers lose. This is a winner's move.
It is.
If you're trying to win this year.
Now, I say that as Darius Smith, he's an older player than Micah Parsons, about 6 years older, 7 years older. But Micah Parsons is an expiring. I'm not trading Micah Parsons for a 7th round draft pick.
No,
certainly.
Micah is a Khalil Mack, 2-3 number ones, and a player kind of a move.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade him as a rental.
No, I'm just talking about if Jerry if he truly believed that once healthy and all the pieces were here, this is a playoff team. This is the kind of move you make. This is the kind of move you do if you truly believe that this is a team that is at least playoff or better, and obviously Detroit does. They made the move.
Yeah, and they are. They're in that class. Listen, you're going to see the teams that make, and some of these teams have already made their moves. Kansas City goes out and gets DeAndre Hopkins. It pays off yesterday. The Bills went out and got Amari Cooper. The teams are making moves.
If you believe, you go do it. And no one believes in the Cowboys.
No.
But do you believe in rebuilding? I mean, is it time?
Should you sell? I believe the answer is yes.
I do too.
It makes it so tough that your core is what it is.
But the Micah ask is huge.
It has to be.
You're coming with, I'm taking everything you got for the next 3 years. I'm literally everything you got because you're getting a generational dude. And I'm not taking anything less for that. So I'll hang that shingle out. And if you want to come by and talk, I think it'll be easier to move some other dudes. I just can't imagine because it's going to happen either today or at the end of the league year that all these guys are going to still be Cowboys. You just can't. It's either going to happen now or later. You're either going to get something for them now or maybe some recompense later. But it's not going to – what you have now will not be what you start next season with. You can't.
Your guys that would there's 2 guys the Cowboys could trade that would bring back a first-round pick. Well, 3 if you count Dak, which you can't.
Yeah.
CD, who's untradeable at the moment because of his cap hit, because you just signed him to a new contract. You can't so throw him out the window too. The only other guy is Micah Parsons. Nobody.
Well, Trayvon.
You're not getting a first rounder for Trayvon Diggs.
Depending on who. No, you're right. And maybe I don't need first rounders, but maybe it's about 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounders for salary cap reasons. But I got to get more than one pick because now I'm rebuilding.
Yeah.
It's not about immediate improvement. It's about Let's get through $90 million cap hit next year. Let's just get through it.
I mean, you need essentially you need a whole new offensive line, damn near. But that's the other. You pay Terrence Steele. He's not good.
Well,
he doesn't look like he's good.
No, you're stuck with him for at least another year till that mayonnaise gets a little thinner. There's D-Law's a movable piece. There's pieces there that you go.
They should fire the GM. They keep giving out bad contracts.
I wonder who keeps doing that. But it's an indictment to sit still today. It really is. Now it takes 2 to tango, and my asking price. I'm not desperate to move Micah. I don't have to move him today, but I want everybody to know 3 number ones and a little bit of talent, a little bit of something. He can be yours.
Yeah,
he can be yours today if you want it.
Yep. I think you've got to look at it that way. What did they get? What was that Khalil Mack haul?
And you could argue whether it was worth it, because the first Khalil Mack was massive.
Let's see. The Khalil Mack trade was from the Bears to the Raiders. Mm-hmm. The Bears sent the Bears got Mack, a 2020 second rounder, which ended up being Cole Kmet, a 2020 7th rounder. And the Bears traded away first, 3rd, 6th.
I would say at the minimum that. At the minimum that. At probably more. It's inflation. This is a different year. This has been 4 years ago. 3 number ones.
Yeah. See, I don't think you're going to get 3 number ones. That's quarterback pricing.
Well, if you're truly...
If you get 2 firsts, oh my God, that's franchise changer.
And not a lot of teams can offer it. But the likelihood of it happening on a deadline like this is slim unless you've been working on it. And who's to say? You'd like to think that there was some due diligence being done. They like to tell us this is a 365 thing. If you have been working it, he is my last option. He's the break glass in case of emergency move. I just do everything I can to find space elsewhere because every one of those other positions, I feel like I can find somebody. I can't replace Micah.
You can't.
I can't.
But you also, that's why he's so valuable.
Right. And that's why I'm asking for 3. But if I get stuck and I have to pay for him, I'll wave goodbye to some really good guys.
The problem is, like, if you keep Micah and then you pay him, you're even centering your team more around the 3 guys.
Well, other teams do this. We're not the only team that does this. There's some other extraneous things that are going to have to take care of. I'm going to have to redo some other contracts.
What other team is doing this that is contending with, or is contending to be the worst team in the league? Like, are the Patriots married to 3 guys?
No, but they're chasing 3 guys.
Of course,
they would like to have the 3 guys that the Cowboys would be going to war with.
But if you have those 3 guys, you shouldn't be 5-12 or whatever.
That's why I'm saying there's some extraneous things that need to be done that can be done without a whole lot of money. I mean, the things that we're talking about get fixed without money.
Do you think a core of Dak, CD, and Micah Parsons can win a Super Bowl?
I do. I think those 3 are pieces that would be required to win a Super Bowl.
See,
you have to have a quarterback, you have to have a wide receiver, and you have to have a defensive beast. And those are the 3 things. Every other team has them, and they've got them too.
I don't. Well, first of all, I think it all boils down to I don't believe Dak is a Super Bowl quarterback.
It comes down to the thermostat thermometer argument about Dak. Obviously, you'd have to go get some pieces that raise him. But I do think to win a Super Bowl, you have to have the 3 pieces that the Cowboys do have. I will argue that.
In my mind, I'm like, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, none of them have won a Super Bowl yet. They're all like on a totally different level than Dak Prescott.
Well, let's talk about
mind.
Joe Burrow in 3 years. If he hadn't done it in 3 years, where he'll be sitting where Dak is today, then we'll see. You know what I mean? We're victims of the moment. And Dak 6 weeks ago was fully capable of winning a Super Bowl. He was second in MVP voting last year, threw for 8 miles. He wasn't the problem. There were other problems. They're wrong.
What's his playoff record?
Well, yeah, but as far as getting there and the numbers and the things that you wanted to get to a Super Bowl, he checked the box, just like Micah will press you. And the game ender, the reason you pay edge rushers so much money is they shut down games. And he's capable of doing that if you have a lead. But they haven't been able to do that, and he hadn't been able to stay on the field. But he's my last option. Again, I break glass in case of absolute emergency. I hang the sign out, 3 number ones and some talent, or 2 number ones and a second, or whatever you have to offer. But I'm offering other stuff first. I just don't. He's the last thing I sell. He's my wedding ring. He's the last thing I get rid of before I have to. But I will sell it if I have to.
Yeah, I don't know what else you've got that a team would be like, yeah, we'll give you something serious for that. There's just not.
So no one wants Dak, huh?
Like you say, there's not a lot of there.
There's not a lot of there. But there's no one out there. I mean, the thing that is so galling, that, dude, you did it to yourself, Jerry.
You did
it to yourself, and we told you not to do it.
Dak was so willing to go into this season and on a prove-it deal, and you said, we're going to take – and you didn't prove it.
Not yet, anyway.
You had the chance to put him on the spot, make him do it, and right now, oh my God, how good would Jerry be feeling right now about waiting?
So don't you know the conversation would be so different right now? It would be so absolutely different because we'd be looking at Jerry like, you're so smart. What's the next smart thing you're going to do? What's the next smart thing you're going to do?
That was shrewd.
It's shrewd. You held him out. You made him think, and turned out
we're
right.
like, what a dope.
And wait till you see Trey Lance come out there and throw 4 touchdowns.
What a
on Thanksgiving
dopey
Day.
move.
On Thanksgiving Day, Trey Lance is going to start and give us a Clint Longley kind of a game. He even wears his number. I mean, we're talking about the phoenix that rises from the ashes. We just got to get to Thanksgiving and the greatness that is Trey Lance.
What a nightmare.
Y'all buying this?
Nothing. None of it. Not one single
That's not
bit.
gonna work.
Good luck with it, though. We'll hit some NBA on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys!
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Breakfast Burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. The American As It Gets Tour. February 6th, Majestic Theater. Tickets on sale now at MajesticEmpire.com. More at AaronLewisMusic.com. Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. American As It Gets Tour.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We'll start with this trouble spot downtown. That is an accident on 35. Upper level southbound just past North St. Mary Street. It's taking up a right lane. Expect delays from 35. Definitely slow 35 southbound Engelon down to 1604. It's going to take you almost 30 minutes to get through. I-10 upper level eastbound Woodlawn to Frio Street. We've got some road work going on. Roadway reduced to just one lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is expected to miss multiple weeks due to a hamstring injury suffered in the loss to the Falcons. Cooper Rush will start Sunday against the Eagles. The Cowboys might also be without C.D. Lamb as he suffered a sprained AC joint in the loss as well. The San Antonio Spurs went down to the Los Angeles Clippers 113-104. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 3. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The Spurs de San Antonio come up a little short last night, 113-104. Clippers getting their first win in that shiny new building.
I like that scoreboard, man.
At the expense of our hometown Spurs. It wasn't all doom and gloom. There's positives to take away from every game. And Wemby having 9 blocks, that's a positive. 9 of 22 from the field. Not ideal. Not ideal.
He's a volume scorer.
2 of 9 from 3. I get it. I like a big man who can go out and pop one off too. But I don't like that. Like, this is what he is. Like, I don't like that they're trying to make him like a perimeter-oriented player. Like, I want him to have that in his bag, but I don't want that to be his game.
And it won't be exclusively.
Sure feels that way.
Well, it will. Keep in mind, this is a process. His frame right now is not one like last night. What's the big boy?
Zubac. Yeah, Zubac.
Zubac. I don't want Wemby in the paint banging on Zubac in October. I don't even want him banging around with Zubac at 19 and 20. He is going to fill out. And once his body gets a little thicker, we watched it happen to Giannis. The only person it never happened to was KD. Yeah. But you expect at some point he's going to put on a little bit of meat.
Kevin Garnett.
And Garnett. But Garnett was always capable to play in the paint. He was wiry, strong, and different thing. I think we'll see as he matures him start to play closer to the rim. But right now, use what he's got. This dude can take an 8-foot step You know, you want to talk about some things that we haven't even begun to unleash. Wait till he learns to do that little James Harden sidestep three. Wait till he gets the strength to do that, and you go, you know what? I kind of like a 7'5" dude shaking threes because nobody ever gonna block that thing.
I don't mind it either, but I don't want it to be. I don't want him to take 9.
You got to live with it,
and you've got to make more than you do. You got to be better at it.
You got to make them, but you got to live with it. This is just part. We're gonna have to live with it
because here's the thing. If the goal is to drag a guy like Zubac out of the paint, which that is the goal, when you've got to stretch big,
ideal, yeah.
Like either,
but nobody bigs don't guard him.
Okay, then like you've got to punish them. You've got to punish them by making
and
shots.
Eventually, it will. There will be punishment coming. It's not gonna not happen, but we're gonna have to live with the 4 for whatever. We're going to have to live with the volume misses to get what we got last night, to get the other stuff.
Did you see the plus minuses for this game?
No, I haven't looked at it. I want to see it. It's the worst stat in sports, but it does have some merit.
It is so fascinating, and it's usually the starters have generally the same. Take a look at Wemby's, and then take a look at Chris Paul's. Chris Paul, Sohan, Harrison Barnes, and Collins all plus. Barnes was plus 9. The rest of them are plus double digits. Sohan plus 14. Great night. Wemby, Champagne. Is Champagne? I've heard him say it 2 different ways.
I don't know. It's the strange. I've heard it a lot of. Champagne is what I hear most people saying.
Keldon, Branham, Castle, all minus double digits. Wemby minus 21.
Well, anybody that was playing in the third quarter will have a negative.
Yeah.
Because they got boat raced in the third quarter.
No, the fourth quarter.
Well, third into the fourth. They got boat raced. This is the biggest comeback in Clippers since 96. I mean, they had a 26-point lead. So anybody that was on the court during those runs to cut it down is going to have definitely a negative.
Because it was the Spurs actually, they won the first quarter 40-14. They were blowing them out.
It was a beautiful thing to watch. And I turn the channel, I come back, and they're within 8. I'm like, how did this happen?
They're outscored in the second quarter 34-16. Third quarter 34-30. Fourth quarter 31-18.
It was that late third into the fourth. It was like a 18-4
I mean,
run.
the second quarter, 34-16 in the second quarter, that's pathetic.
That's Pop not being there. I mean, there's some things that you look to for your coach, and you sub just a little bit weird, and you call a play a little bit different, and you're trying really hard. I'll put some of that on the bench, but that's also kids losing to pros, older dudes.
And we talked about, like, you really got the offense on this team comes from James Harden and Norman Powell. And what you can't have is Amir Coffey putting up 21 on you. You just can't have that because Amir Coffey is not a 21 points guy.
No, he's not.
And if he beats you like that, you've got no hope. It was a rough night after a really, really promising start. Steph Castle got, I feel like that was maybe the most minutes he's gotten, 20 minutes on the floor. He's just not.
He's a rookie, man.
His offensive game is way behind his defensive game, unfortunately.
Because he's thinking. You can tell a guy who doesn't know what his next move should be, other than get to the rim as fast as I can.
But the Spurs continue, and again, I know analytics, and maybe this is where I've got a blind spot, maybe. But I will never understand being a volume 3-point shooting team when you are a bad 3-point shooting team. Like there's no other world where they say the best thing you can do is something you're bad at more.
3s are better than 2s.
You know what I mean?
It sucks. It's, the funny thing about this is if you watched the ESPN highlights this morning, you'd have thought the Spurs won. I mean, it was nothing but Wemby here and shot made here and this and that. And oh, by the way, Spurs lost 113-104 because Wemby's making 2s and they're making 3s. Even at we're trying to make our 3s. They're making
You're
them.
not
and the only way you can
good at
keep up is shoot 60% from 2 or 35% from 3.
The Spurs cannot shoot 35% from 3. They're not that team.
You're right.
They don't have enough good shooters.
We know it now. There's some help on the way, but just like we knew what the Cowboys' downfall was going to be, as Spurs fans, they can't shoot. And when they lose, it'll be because they walked out of a series, out of a game, shooting about 30% from the field, about 25% from three on volume of about 45 shots. And you go, well, you can't hit the side of the barn. That's why you lost.
And that's the other thing about Wemby is, and why I'm like, God, they got to get him in the paint more. I'd like to see him get to the free throw line more. You know, like that was, and I know they're so different physically, but the greatest thing about Yao when I was covering him with the Rockets was that dude just lived on the line, and it was like it was an extra 12 points a night.
Yes, it's a guarantee.
He's undefendable down around the basket because he was so big, and if you tried, you were going to foul him. And he was the rare big who could make free throws and punish you. Wemby can make those free throws. You just got to get to the line to shoot them.
So you have to decide as a coach, how do I want him to get the fouls? I can put him in the paint like bigs, the traditional big, and he'll get fouled with his back to the basket. He'll get fouled with an elbow to the back. He'll get fouled with the rake down.
And I get what you're saying. They don't want to do that with him.
No. Or I can get Wemby to the line equally as much. Equally, maybe more so, if I have him facing the basket and going at it.
Slashing.
I can get him there, but both of those involve a level of physical punishment that I'm not sure I want him to go through. You know what I mean? I keep looking at him like, this is this year, and it's part of the process. Now, I expect some benefit to the process in some W's, but the best thing that could happen this year is for him to grow in his game. And there's things it's like building stairs. There's things you got to do first before you can do the next thing. And once he gets that thing down, then we do the next thing and the next thing. And then 2 years from now, we've got a 35-point-a-night unstoppable beast if we do it right. And I feel like I'm willing to sacrifice some 4 for 41 nights, some 3 for 21 from the three-point line just to get ready for what's coming.
And Herb says Jeremy got hurt and Wemby went to the bench in the second quarter. Those are our two best defenders. Yeah, and I don't know what the status is on Sohan. Only 12 minutes. Clearly, that's an issue. But Harrison Barnes is a really good defensive player. The problem is when Sohan and Barnes are both off, that means that Keldon Johnson's being asked to play defense.
Zach Collins, who, to his defense, has played pretty good. But, yes, there's a deficit for sure.
It's bad.
A huge deficit. All-NBA type defense to third-year NBA type defense. Huge gap. Huge.
It's just nothing matters if you can't shoot. It really boils down to that. And you know what a good example of this is, or like a good a comp? Remember the Tennessee Titans when it was Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry? And everyone in the world knew, like the analytics had said by this point, you have to be a pass-first offense to win.
Yep.
But the Titans were smart enough to know that might be the rest of the world. That ain't us. Because they looked at Ryan Tannehill,
right,
and then they looked at Derrick Henry and said, I know the numbers might say our best chance to win is to throw it 40 times a game because that's what the teams that are winning are doing. But our best chance to win is to hand it to this monster 40 times a game.
Right now. But they were trying to win right now. But I will argue that if it wasn't Ryan Tannehill, but it was a young Joe Burrow, or it was a young, I guess Josh Allen might be a more appropriate, where he needs reps. I got to have him throwing into zone. I got to have him throwing into man. I got to have him throwing deep. And I just got to do it. And it's going to suck. He's going to throw interceptions. But eventually, those interceptions are going to stop. And eventually, Wemby's going to hit those threes. Eventually, he'll have the muscle mass to get through that first defender, to get in the paint and get the true and one and the bucket and the foul on the dude that we got to get out. Eventually, that'll happen. It's going to be ugly now. It's watching the giraffe learn to run. It's going to be ugly now, but eventually it's going to be graceful as hell if we can wait for it.
And maybe it's, especially with the Spurs, when you think about how quickly you got return on investment with Robinson and then with Duncan, like it was immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately they were already impact guys. And not that Wemby's not an impact guy.
They were men when they got here.
I know. And that's I got to readjust that to where This is just he's a skinny French kid.
Yeah, that's 18 that barely learns the language and would prefer some things that are probably not best for him health-wise. So, yeah, we can't compare them because eras are different, although I will say this. It's a lot easier to get great now than it was when Tim and David got here. It's a lot easier to become a superstar now than it was back then. The hierarchy is much more forgiving. You can get good faster without the other team and the refs and the rules conspiring against you.
Yeah. It's just, man, it is a frustrating thing when you know how good this guy can be, and he's not there yet. And you're right, it is gonna you have to take lumps to get him there. I get it, and he didn't go to college to do this, and but
can we marvel at what we did see last night? The blocks, man.
Oh, that's incredible.
Man,
yeah,
it's like
incredible.
he swings in on a trapeze to come get some of those balls. He comes from nowhere. Norman Powell thought he had an easy layup. He didn't even try. Little bunny. And out of nowhere, Wemby came from like 12 feet away to get that off the glass.
Yeah.
Every night he does something where it's just jaw-dropping, where you go, did I rewind that? Did you see what he just did?
What age do you expect him to be?
The average age, 22.
Okay.
When you look at what
now, therein lies the rub, though. When he's 22, now you've used all these developmental years. He's not married to San Antonio.
No, no. That's why whatever Victor gets or wants, he gets, and that's going to be part of the conversation. It's going to be a hard conversation that I think a lot of us are going to have over the next couple of days, as Pop sits away.
This is going to bring to the next conversation. So we'll discuss the future of the San Antonio Spurs. Let's say Greg Popovich is out for the foreseeable future. What's next for San Antonio, and how much of an impact should Wemby have on that? It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
I hope you're feeling good this morning. Walked out of your Connecticut shower, washed clean, and ready to go through the day. Have you ever been over to somebody's house and they brought you some tea and it just didn't taste right? You ever gone to your friend's house and go in and you wash your hands and you can't get the soap off your hands? It feels weird. Or they hand you something to drink and the glass is cloudy. You're like, you don't got a Connecticut water softener, I can tell you. You need to get one now. Because when you got a Connecticut, those are worries. You don't gotta shine your glasses when fam comes over. You don't have to fix your water to make sure that it tastes all right. It's already taken care of. Your Connecticut has done that, especially for those of you on a well like I am. Connecticut's are designed in the United States. They got the awards to prove that they're the best available. And why don't you have one? Well, sometimes it's the cost that gets in the way. It's the initial thing. Right now, if you'll call 656 Pure, Connecticut will come out and put their water softener, their very best, in your home for 90 days, not even ask you a question. You'll be just like us on that 91st day. And if you do to go ahead and decide to get one, which you probably will, they have a deal going on, which I actually had to pay for this thing. If you buy your Connecticut in the next 90 days for a limited time, you're going to get a water softener with reverse osmosis drinking station installed on your kitchen sink for free. So think about that fresh coffee. Think about that tea. Think about anything you're adding water to right there at your sink. That's why you go with Connecticut. Perfect cooking and coffee water. No need for buying bottled water. Your pets are going to thank you. Your hair is going to thank you. Your mama's going to thank you. Call Connecticut today, 656 Pure. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details. Listen close. We all got a Connecticut. You don't. Better go get one today. Join the cool kids, and I know you'll be thanking me later.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Rob Thompson called in sick today. Oh, Rob, man, here's what I did. Dayquil, NyQuil, some steroid stuff.
Steroids?
Yeah.
Wow. You gotta be careful with steroids. You know what they do to some things.
Not those kind of steroids, idiot.
They make them smaller.
No.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello. My name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400, that's 210-900-0400, or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
JCPenney has more gifts, bigger savings for every holiday wish list. Celebrate the season that never stops giving. From denim to diamonds, PJs to perfume, and mixers to massagers, we're giving you more options than ever at a value that helps you give a little extra. Looking for more bright ideas? We've got the big brands everyone wants. From Levi's to Legos, there's more to love for them and you. All the deals, all the feels, all the gifts to go around. JCPenney. Make it count.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
So, as we talk about Greg Popovich and his health concern, which we don't know a whole lot about, to be quite frank, we know it's keeping him out. He's never missed time like this before, hasn't he?
Back in 22, a couple years ago, he missed a couple games with a health issue, but nothing more than, he's missed a game or two here, but everybody gets sick.
Right.
But in 22, we missed a couple of games due to a health thing.
I mean, I know that one of the things we talked about when I first got here was, the storylines coming up with the Spurs are development of Wemby, new stadium, and who's going to take over when Pop leaves. That's the three big storylines of the Spurs. Like, if we're saying, like, what's the biggest stuff to happen in the next 5 years, it's those three things, I believe. and you can connect the new stadium thing to the Austin stuff. The truth is, when you say, like when I asked you in the last segment, when is Wemby going to be fully developed, and you were like 22, 23, like most of these other dudes, that means that maybe the Wemby development is much more attached to the new coach than people want those things to be attached, which means, like,
yes,
would it shock you if there was some French dude here coaching, some Euro head coach?
No.
Like, this is who Wemby says, this is who I want?
I think that Wemby will play a huge role in who's hired. Now, I don't think that he'll go get the pick, but I think that as much as he will interview with RC and the ownership group, and, you know, like you would for any CEO type job, as the primary stakeholder here, I think that Wemby will play a huge role. And I think that the way we have to look at it is, whatever coach arrives will have to adopt the plan that Wemby and his crew have endorsed.
Yeah.
This is what we want. Can you do this? Because this is what we are going to do. And Wemby is going to be a perimeter player. You know, Wemby, we have already decided, and the group that involved Pop has told him, for you to be a long-term superstar and for you to be a self-actualized San Antonio Spur for 20 years like Tim, first step, second step, third step, and this is the step we're in. Can you do this?
And I think go back to when LeBron picked, and I hate
David Blatt.
Well, I wasn't going to say him. Blatt was hired before he was signed, if you remember, but he handpicked Tyronn Lue, and I don't think
it worked though.
It did, but now is it going to work out every time?
No, it rarely works. No. But this one did.
But I think, like, you want your star to have a say, but you don't want him to have all the say. And I don't know that Wemby will be to that level like where LeBron was, but I also think there is the Spurs fans have been spoiled because Robinson got here and wanted to stay here. He was a good fit for this town. Tim was the same thing, and a good fit for this town and a good fit with Popovich.
We're 2-1.
And it doesn't feel like Wemby, he doesn't have the feel of a guy who's going to be in San Antonio forever.
See, I disagree with that. I think because of his origins and the way that, you know, he's been involved, even though he's only been a Spur now for a year and a half. Tony Parker and the Spurs have been part of his life for a long time. You know, you grow up French, you grow up a Spurs fan because of Parker and Boris and all of that. I do think that there's an aspirational thing, at least for Europeans, at least those of French or Belgian descent, that the Spurs are as big as anything. I mean, that Tony Parker won championships, and for as long as they've been alive, the Spurs were just about as good. Now, they weren't LeBron, they weren't the Knicks, they weren't the logo you see in the United States or in Europe. But if you were a basketball fan and you were Wemby, when you were 10, the best team in the world was the Spurs. So I do think that there is a cultural thing that would keep him here a little bit more than if he just grew up in New York or Memphis or Houston. So I do think there's some alliance there. But whenever you, like coaches always say, if you listen to the fans, eventually you're going to be sitting with them. If you put yourself at the whim of a 22-year-old boy, you're going to only bat about 25%. You know what I mean? No matter how mature, they got their own plans. No matter how much you have planned and done everything you can for them, you can't expect a 22-year-old kid, as mature physically as he might be, to be mentally in a position to understand the billion-dollar decisions that he's making.
But also, if it boils down to, okay, this 22-year-old kid is saying, hey, this is who I want to coach me, or I'm leaving.
And you have to be prepared
you just
for
say,
that.
well, I mean, the answer, if that comes, is very simple.
You hire the guy he wants.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's easy to say, like, oh, you don't let them make these decisions until they say, hey, I'm making this decision, I'm leaving.
And we watched Kawhi for whatever reason. I'm leaving. I'm going to do it the wrong way, but I'm leaving.
It's like a dude who tells his wife, I'm going out to the bar tonight, and she says, no, you're not. And he's like,
the hell I am.
No, I'm not.
I'm
Watch
going.
me. And then she says, okay, I'm going to be gone when you get back. and all my stuff's going to be gone, and you'll have a letter from my lawyer. Now he's going to really consider it because the Spurs don't want Wemby to leave.
But he seems like a guy that will. I will never say never, because I watched Kawhi, who seemed very much like a guy who was happy to be here and didn't want, and he was all the things, and it didn't go that way. So I will always have doubt in my mind. But it does appear, at least from my experience with David and Tim, that he's in an environment that he feels the most comfortable. Now, that 3 years from now, the world will change, and he'll be a giant superstar, and he might require to be in New York, Chicago, L.A., name your big city. And if it comes to that, there's nothing San Antonio can do. Nothing. There's nothing that we can do about Kawhi. It was over. And I've learned to accept the fact that you can only be what you are, and don't sell your soul, but do everything you can to keep it. And I think if he said, I will only play for some French coach, we would have a French coach as our head coach.
That's what I'm thinking too. All right, when we come back, I want to talk about this KD Stephen A thing. I find it fascinating, but I also want to. We'll touch on some of the college hoops from last night as well. Also want to take a look at the college football. Our predictions on what the college football playoff thing might look like. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
I want you to imagine yourself right now. You are sitting, driving into the lease. About a month from now. You're heading into the lease. You've already radioed in. Hey, come out. Wait till you see what I got. I got him. Wait till you see what I got. And you roll into your dear lease. Everybody comes running out of the camp to take a look. Not at that beautiful box 8 you've got strapped to the back of that beautiful Kubota. They're there to see your Kubota. That orange, beautiful utility vehicle is the dream for anybody on a lease. Let me tell you. If you've ever got lease work to do, if you've got ranch work to get done, and you don't have a Kubota on your property to do it, it's taking you too long and it's too expensive to do. You need to call Kubota. You need to head over right now, because if you're in the market for a tractor, you're in the market for the best RTV going on in North America, is the best-selling diesel utility vehicle. You're heading over to any one of the 11 Kubota dealerships around Central and South Texas. Why? Because it's the best made. Those orange tractors and RTVs, let me tell you, they last a long time. The E-Walls have been around a long time taking care of you. So if it's hunting season, things you need, you want to mod whatever you got, they've got everything. Big old winch, they got it. You want to make sure you got the tie downs, the strap downs, you want the box on the back, you need more seats, you can fix it. That's why we love Kubota. And if it's time to break some ground, you need a powerful, durable Kubota to come out and take care of it. Whether you buy it, you rent it, you lease it, day, week, or month, they've got what you need and all the parts and training to go along with it. I'm talking about E-Wall Kubota. I'm talking about something that's been part of your life for a long time. And if you're ready to go get that brand new RTV, now's the time. Kubota equipment has $0 down and 0 APR for 36 months. You can save up to $1,000 on that. Go to Kubota USA for all the details. Listen, close from the Gulf of Mexico to the Hill Country of Texas for over 75 years. E-Wall Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We were noticing some heavy delays on 35. We just found out the issue. Southbound 35 approaching Olympia Parkway, we do have a crash. Only one lane is open, a 45-minute delay, and that has you slow back to FM 482. Again, this is 35 southbound approaching Olympia Parkway. All that gets by one lane, so avoid it if at all possible. Downtown 35 southbound just past North St. Mary Street. That crash in the right lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats to your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
What's with the outfit, Nigel?
This is my hunting attire, complete with my bright red jacket, hunting horn.
Whoa, Nigel. Hunting is a little different here in Texas.
And like hunting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioner repairs are all about skill and having the right equipment.
And all our Quarter Moon technicians with a fleet of fully stocked trucks know what to do when plumbing, heat, and AC issues pop up out of nowhere. Where'd you go?
I can't get my horse down from the deer blind.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E and 16004.
Can you dig it? Come into any Ewald Kubota dealer and dig the savings on the full line of Kubota excavators. Like 0%, 0 down for 48 months. Plus, save up to $10,000 off. Come see us. Kubota deals are here. Kubota deals are now.
Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
JCPenney has more gifts, bigger savings for every holiday wish list. Celebrate the season that never stops giving. From denim to diamonds, PJs to perfume, and mixers to massagers, we're giving you more options than ever at a value that helps you give a little extra. Looking for more bright ideas? We've got the big brands everyone wants. From Levi's to Legos, there's more to love for them and you. All the deals, all the feels, all the gifts to go around. JCPenney. Make it count.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-704-9936. 800-704-9936. 800-704-9936.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is all cooking.
How about them Cowboys? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Today's the day. The truth is going to come out.
Oh. What are we talking about?
We are going to... the future starts today with the first college football playoff standing.
Yeah, this is akin to Oscar nominations. I don't know. This is only going to be about, what do you figure, half of the teams on this list will actually be there at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think half is probably a fair number.
At least history tells us that. It may be different.
Maybe 7, 8. Here's my guess. My best guess as of now is what this will look like. Oregon will be 1. Georgia will be 2.
Mm-hmm.
Miami will be 3. And BYU will be 4.
I think
just for now.
No, I agree, and I think because of their record, BYU will get it. But I think by the eye test, they're not 4. And I think if it came down to that, when you were if it was the last poll, and BYU was still undefeated, I don't think they'd get that high a seed. I think that they would. Those voters who kept Florida State out of it because eye test tells us you ain't in it, I think they would lower BYU. I think they'd knock them down, make Big 12 mad. But I don't think they'd be hosting a game.
Well, here's what I will say. If BYU loses a game, I fully believe that there's a good chance the G5 winner or the G5 highest-ranked G5 team is the 4 seed.
I agree.
And the Big 12 champ is the 12 seed.
I completely agree with that. And you know what? It might not even take a loss, not a 12 seed. But I do think that as the Big 12 continues to cannibalize themselves, that by the time we're done with this, you got a 3-loss Big 12 championship. They're going to be an 8-9 seed. I mean, that's just where you're going to land.
I think they will. I legitimately think they'd be a 12.
You know what? It wouldn't shock me because
right now the general thought is the G5 team is going to be the 12 seed. They're the last team in. Like Boise today would be the 12 seed.
And you'd expect that. But we saw last year that this basically same crew told Florida State to stay home.
Yeah.
So they will put you down. They will put you where they believe you need to be, whether your record tells you that or not.
Now, I mentioned Miami. I think that first of all, I said this yesterday. The Big 12 that is a one-bid league. They don't deserve more than one bid. It's barely a viable football conference. So if it's not BYU, it'll be Iowa State or Kansas State, whoever wins the Big 12 championship. There's no room for other teams. So Iowa State losing and Kansas State losing last week basically locked up that fact that the Big 12 is a one-bid league. Now, the ACC, I said Miami is the 3 seed. Clemson, I think we can wave goodbye to.
Thanks for playing.
But SMU is still in this conversation. And now what it will take for SMU is getting to the ACC championship game and beating Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And then SMU becomes the 3 seed and Miami I guess the question becomes, does Miami still make the playoff?
No. See, I think that legitimately the ACC is probably a 2-team bid. The 2 teams.
I think so
they
too.
Deserve it.
I think so too.
But it depends on the way the championship game goes, because one of those teams could easily be knocked out. If Miami wins out, their top 5 seed, and they'll be there. But if they lose, SMU has to win pretty. SMU has to look good doing it. I don't think Miami does.
No. All SMU has to do is win the rest of their games and win the ACC championship.
If they beat Miami, they're in, and both of them are in. But I think if Miami beats SMU, and they do it in a way that shows that SMU was doing some things to Pitt that was just, they're not what we thought they were, it could easily be a one-bid league. Easily.
Yeah. So Miami's remaining schedule at Georgia Tech, that's this weekend, home Wake Forest, and at Syracuse. At Syracuse might be tricky.
Yeah, they're going to go undefeated.
I think they are going to go, well, I don't know. At Syracuse is going to be tough. The thing about this Miami team, their defense is not good. I mean, we remember how close they came to losing to Cal?
I know.
They were so close to losing, and they were close to losing to Virginia Tech. They have been by the skin of their teeth a couple times this year, hung on at Louisville. They're very, very gettable.
I watched them. They're better now than they were. That defense is better than it was. And Cam is one of those dudes that, given the chance, he's going to beat you.
Yeah. I keep thinking they were down, 21-10 to Duke? Or was 21-14 maybe? But it was.
I think I'm buying in that they're capable of beating anybody, but they're the most beatable division.
No, they're not capable of beating anybody.
Well, on a given day, I think they can throw past anybody. I do. I think that there's enough offense there if other things happen to the other team. But
they haven't beat. There's nobody in. They haven't beaten a ranked team.
Well, they haven't had the opportunity. You know what I mean? But they've beaten everybody they were supposed to, and they're doing it easy. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do think that they're better today than they were earlier. They haven't gotten worse, and injuries have not bothered them. They're starting to convince me that it's possible, but I think that if I was judging right now, I would only send one ACC team. I would only have one Big 12 team, and I'd have the Big 10 and SEC fighting over scraps for 2 bids that I don't think they thought they were going to get.
I think the rankings today will do right by Indiana.
They deserve to go.
Although they've played literally no one of note.
You've only played who's in front of you, and you're beating the doors off them when you do.
That is a fact. They, unlike Miami and BYU, who have had some close calls, Indiana, this week Indiana trailed for the first time all season, and then I think they were down 10-0. And then I think they put up 44 unanswered. And
what I saw them do to Nebraska was
Signetti's like, well, I guess we know what we look like playing from behind now.
We're good there. Check that box.
I love this dude. I love him.
But Indiana, it's this Saturday. I mean, if they win, or even if they look good, they're still in, I think, on Saturday. I don't think they got to beat Ohio State to go.
Next Saturday they play Ohio State.
When they play Ohio State, I don't think they got to beat them to go. I think if they are just competitive, they keep winning a 1-loss Big Ten team, you got to put them in.
I don't think they will. I think they'll look at their strength of resume and they'll be like, they just didn't play anybody good.
They played in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you got to give some credit to what we were told is either the best or the second best conference, and you go undefeated in it.
But you are also going to have years, especially now that you've got these like 20-team conferences where not all Big Ten schedules are created equal.
I agree, and that might be the victimhood. I cannot imagine a 1-loss Indiana team getting the shaft. It'd be very different from Florida State. Florida State lost their best guy, and you were like, and we had questions about you anyway. Fully functioning Indiana, who has pantsed everybody, but an Ohio State team that proved they can win on the road and beat a good team.
The worst thing
shame in losing to them.
The worst thing for that Florida State team was, though, they played LSU in the non-conference and beat them. Like they went out of their way to schedule a big boy football game, and they won it. Indiana, their non-conference was Florida International, Western Illinois, and Charlotte.
Yeah,
like they didn't
it's
try.
Indiana. I mean, why would you even try?
No, I get
You're
it.
Indiana.
But they play Michigan this weekend, and then they've got a bye, and then that Ohio State game.
Ooh.
And this is big on Signetti because I remember when at Signetti's initial press conference, he was like, "Hey, I just want everybody here to know, Purdue sucks, and we're gonna beat Purdue.
Ohio State sucks.
Ohio State sucks. We're gonna beat Ohio State. Michigan sucks. We're gonna beat Michigan." He's got those 3 games or his next 3 games. You know what? If he does it, God bless him, and I'll welcome Indiana into the playoff. Like I'd be excited to see him.
I'll do it even with a loss. They can't lose more than 1.
Here's the thing: if they lose to Ohio State, they're not going to get to the Big Ten championship
That's the best
game.
thing that could happen to them. I wouldn't want to go. There's no loss on. There's no stain if I lose.
And if you beat them. If you beat Ohio State, you do go to the Big Ten championship, and you've got to play Oregon.
And it could get ugly.
Oregon will absolutely obliterate
and then
Indiana.
You get knocked out. The best thing could happen to them is they're on the sideline with 1 loss and everybody's heart.
So I think Indiana is going to be in the rankings today. I think they're going to feel good. I think Notre Dame's going to be in the rankings today.
They should be.
I think it's like, listen, they lost to Northern Illinois. It's an ugly, ugly loss, but the Texas A&M win is a good win. And I think that, Louisville is a good win, especially now that Louisville beat Clemson. That's a good win.
I don't think they're going to be there at the end, but I think they should be today.
So you think Notre Dame's going to lose a game between now and then?
I think there's a loss in there.
Boy, I'll say I think Notre Dame is going to be 11-1.
What's their second to last game?
Army. You think they'll lose to Army?
That's the kind of team you lose to.
To me, that's the only chance they have of losing. The rest of their games, they're home to Florida State this weekend, which they're almost a 4-touchdown favorite over Florida State.
We looked at that game like this is when we're going to get the Domers.
They play Virginia after that. Virginia stinks.
No, they're not. I mean, that's.
And then they close out the season at USC. Again, a game we thought would be. Imagine you're like, oh man, our last month we've got Florida State and USC, and it's like, well, but we're really worried about Army. It's like That's crazy to think about, but that's where they're at because Florida State and USC just suck.
If you look past USC,
no one's going to look past USC, but
I'm not giving them that win.
But USC is not even. They're not even going to go to a bowl game.
Probably not. I just think that I know what Notre Dame's capable of. They deserve to be where they are right now because they did come back after being embarrassed, and they're putting it on teams. But that doesn't mean they're going to be there. And every team you've mentioned, like we said, we're going to lose 4 or 5 of these teams. It's just going to happen. I mean, we've still got a long way to go.
The other team I think is going to be feeling okay is Tennessee, for now.
For now, I don't see them there at the end.
I don't either. They've still got to go to Georgia, and that's a monster, obviously. The rest of their schedule, well, hell, I still would say the rest of their schedule looks manageable. They get Mississippi State at home. They get UTEP at home. Those are free squares. At Vanderbilt's not an easy game this year.
Oh man, the blood and guts game. The Commodores get some revenge on that orange.
But truthfully, I think because Tennessee lost, even with Tennessee has a good win against Alabama. That's a good win. No one's going to take that away from them. That loss at Arkansas is not aging well, and the
win against OU isn't aging well either.
No, it's not. And even the win last week at Kentucky is Kentucky, they've basically rolled over this season. So that game at Georgia, if they lose that, I think it's real easy to leave.
Loser goes home either way.
It's easy to leave you out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Tennessee is going to, but today I do think Tennessee
they should be.
Is in that group. Now, a team that I think is going to have maybe a gripe. I think that you can look at. I think you can look at Washington State and Army, and I think they're going to have complaints because they're like, "Hey, what do we got to do? You know, we put on some good showing here. I mean, Washington State, they got kicked out of their conference.
Well,
and all they've done is win impressively
against who?
Like you say, all you can do is play what's in front of you.
But I think that they are going to be left out of mind because of they're not an independent, but they are. You know what I mean? I don't know how to. No one will miss them if they're not there.
They're in the Pac-12. Their biggest problem is they lost to Boise State head-to-head. And that's who you're hoping. That's so you need Boise to lose.
And if they lose, then it makes it even worse. I
think if Boise loses, I think Washington State has a good argument for being the G5 team.
I don't think they're not a G5.
That's what they would count as.
They're not going to get in. That's one of those teams that, like A&M, they're not going to get in unless they win all the way out and look good doing it. I mean, that's the only way they get in. Washington State's going to have to do something spectacular between now and then to stay in. They might get a vote today.
They're, for all intents and purposes, they are playing a Mountain West schedule, the same as Boise.
I just can't imagine that they get in. Honestly, that is left out of mind, out of sight. When you got a full conference, come talk to us. But right now, sorry, man, you got left out.
And then Army, obviously Army. If Army beats Notre Dame, we start looking at them way differently.
Yeah.
But Army today is going to be like, they might not even be like in the listed teams of your next in line,
like first outs, first ins.
And again, have played no one. Their schedule is pathetic, but they have a chance.
And it would be a good story.
Oh my God, and that's the thing. It would be such a good story that it would be undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
It like to the point where if it came down to unbeaten Army or one-loss Boise,
Army's in.
Army is in, and I know, and that sucks because Boise's probably better than Army, but Boise's one loss would be to Oregon, who's probably the number one overall team, and it was a close game. But there is no way a freaking service academy is going to go unbeaten, beat Notre Dame, and be left out of this thing. It's impossible.
And think of the springboard from the Army-Navy game, the last regular season game. If they go undefeated, they're in, and there's going to be a lot of bitching because they're certainly not worthy in talent of the top 12, but they earned
it. Jerry Jones, unrelated note, Jerry Jones says Cowboys not selling at the trade deadline. They're holding pat. It'll just run it back next year.
Well, I mean, it does take two to tango. I mean, the ask for some of the things he's wanting to move, that's a big ask. So,
Sure.
some of these things might actually happen, but it ain't going to happen today.
No. This season is what a disaster. What a waste. Ugh.
Well, 30 teams say that every year.
Yeah, but the 30 teams aren't embarrassed every year.
Yeah, comes with the territory. This season's not over. It's going to get worse. There's a lot more pain coming.
I'm going to give away some comedy tickets on the other side. And I still got that KD story we'll get to. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The Gomez Law Firm has been helping injured victims in car and trucking accidents for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. Jose, if someone finds themselves faced with the stress of an accident, what next?
Well, the first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google JoeGomezLaw.com.
The Gomez Law Firm is the leader in personal injury law. If you have been in an accident, you need a firm that will fight for you and your family's rights.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years.
The Gomez Law Firm fights for you against the big insurance companies and wins. Tell us about some other cases you represent.
Really, anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have found yourself faced with a personal injury matter, if you've been in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then it's important to call the Gomez Law Firm today. Visit JoeGomezLaw.com.
For a limited time, get a free K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut water softener. Clean, great tasting water at your kitchen sink. Hurry before they're gone.
Call 656 Pure Connecticut.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Listen to this station, anytime, anywhere, on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free Crunchwrap Supremes from Taco Bell, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Order Taco Bell for game day now through November 17, 2024. Second item of equal or lesser value. Terms apply. See app for details.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We were noticing some heavy delays on 35. We just found out the issue. Southbound 35 approaching Olympia Parkway, we do have a crash. Only one lane is open, a 45-minute delay, and that has you slow back to FM 482. Again, this is 35 southbound approaching Olympia Parkway. All that gets by one lane, so avoid it if at all possible. Downtown 35 southbound just past North St. Mary Street, that crash in the right lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is expected to miss multiple weeks due to a hamstring injury suffered in the loss to the Falcons. Cooper Rush will start Sunday against the Eagles. The Cowboys might also be without CeeDee Lamb as he suffered a sprained AC joint in the loss as well. The San Antonio Spurs went down to the Los Angeles Clippers 113-104. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
A couple of trades going down. Cowboys buyers at the trade deadline,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yeah, looks like we got us a wide receiver.
Yeah,
right?
Jonathan Mingo and a 7th-round pick coming to Dallas for a 4th-rounder.
Oh.
It's
a little steep for a Jonathan Mingo, but hey, any help, you know?
I guess you need warm bodies. Also, Jerry Jones on the Fan today said that Dak is likely to be placed on the IR, which means 4-game minimum. Elsewhere in the league, the Bears get a 7th-rounder for Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert headed to the Bengals.
Gosh, they just hate guys named Khalil.
Yeah, I
Don't
guess
go to
so.
Chicago.
Yeah.
They'll trade you.
And the other end of the Lions Zadarius Smith deal, the Lions take on the remaining $600K of Zadarius Smith's contract. The Browns have already paid $11.3 million on him this year.
So the next thing we need to see. So the Cowboys acquire a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Williams is hanging around out there, so you think that there might be a possibility. I'd heard some talk about Mike Evans in Tampa, even though he's injured now, that there was some talk about movement. It's early, but offense seems to be the chase.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I would imagine the Mike Williams thing, it just makes too much sense. Like, Aaron doesn't want him
Which
there.
is why
Somebody
it's not
can
gonna
use
happen.
him. Yeah. Other NFL news. This is the best news of the day in the NFL. For Week 11, Sunday Night Football, they flexed the Bengals and Chargers into the Sunday night spot and flexed out the Jets-Colts.
So is this the first week they're able to flex?
No, they flexed.
So last week was the first.
Yeah.
So now we can actually get the games we want.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, imagine we had to watch Sunday Night Football and it was Colts-Jets.
I'll be honest with you. Last night, it's Kansas City. I mean, they're a draw unto themselves, but I didn't think that game was that sexy, and it turned out to be pretty fantastic.
Turned out to be a good game. But that's Monday night, you're not going to change it.
Yeah.
Sunday night, you've got to you gotta wow me.
And Sunday night,
give me your best game.
It was. I mean, it could have gone south. It was all right.
The Week 11, that means that Week 11, while we've got that part figured out, and there is now a very good standalone Sunday game.
Very good.
There's almost a double standalone because there's one other game in the 3 o'clock window, but actually there's two other games. Never mind. Seattle's at San Francisco in the 3 o'clock window that day.
And it could pan out, but I don't think so.
That could be a decent game.
Could be.
Falcons Broncos are in that 3 o'clock window. Chiefs at Bills
there we
at
go.
3:25 on CBS. Everybody's going to be watching that one. So yeah, there's some. That's a good week, Week 11, and then Cowboys Texans Monday night that weekend, or that week.
Boy, there's going to be a bunch of red and blue coming out of the woodwork around here.
Oh,
here
man.
it comes.
Here they come.
Here come Texans.
Here they come. And Alexandra said she didn't watch last night. She knew those Devils were going to win. Yeah. We all knew it.
Devils.
The devil. Vicky Valancourt is the devil. Football is the devil. Foosball is the devil.
Foosball is the devil.
No, this was the Chiefs are good, man. I don't want to knock them. They keep finding a way. But either way, I'm glad that we're starting to flex these crappy games out. I don't want to see any more Jets in prime time. I'm done with it. I'm done. The Jets stink.
You don't want to watch the burning carcass?
No.
No?
You
don't revel in that?
Dude, I've kicked enough dirt on their grave. I'm good for now.
I kind of like them because I'm still in on it.
I mean, give me a couple weeks, and I might say, man, I miss seeing the Jets fail on national TV, and I might ask for it back. But for now, I'm good.
Well, now we have success. Now they're headed to the Super Bowl. They won last week.
That's true. And all they got to do is keep winning, and they're going to be there. Aaron's right. He's been through the darkness.
In the darkness.
But yeah, I'm enough with the Jets. Imagine the Jets on Thanksgiving. Probably no, I don't think they do. But yeah, I'm jetted out. Thanks. Stephen A. Smith and KD apparently are beefing. I didn't know this was a thing, but Stephen A. Smith on Monday cracked back at KD for calling him a clown. KD I think this started with Stephen A. Smith said that KD isn't the kind of leader who is going to take Phoenix where they need to go. And KD said, I've been in the league for 18 years. I've never seen Stephen A. at a practice or a film session or a shoot-around. I've never seen him anywhere but on TV talking bleep about players. He's a clown to me. He's always been a clown.
Is Trayvon allowed to say it and Kevin not? Or Kevin allowed to say it and Trayvon's not? Hey, you don't do mine. I do football. You do writing. You don't know football.
Well, I think when it's one thing to question a play that everyone saw versus to say this guy in the locker room can't lead when you're not in the locker room. I get the difference there, and there is a difference.
Does Kevin Durant have the right to say to Stephen, hey, you don't play, you don't know?
No, what he's saying is
you've never been there.
No, what I think he's saying, he's not in the places where KD would be leading. So, like to say you're not in our film sessions, you don't see what I do there, you don't see what I'm doing in practices. To say that I'm not a leader is not fair, and I kind of get that.
No.
I do.
A leader wouldn't even question what Stephen A. said. A true leader would go, I don't care.
Oh, well, listen. We all know KD is doo-doo soft. Like, he is a baby.
So his reaction proves Stephen A.'s point. You think if Stephen A. called out and said, and you would never do it, but if he said, LeBron, throughout your years, you have never been a leader. You've just been a dude. LeBron wouldn't look sideways at Stephen A. Like, all right, Nat. I mean, seriously, what Kevin doesn't realize is he's proving the point by his snapback. Because a leader wouldn't do. You don't know what I do. What? If the thing is, I probably would know if you were the guy that I don't think you are.
I don't know which one of these guys I like less.
I like. They're both shallow, narcissistic, and extraordinarily good at their job.
This is Stephen A's response. I don't have time to be at shoot around. I don't have time to be in the post game locker room. I happen to have a hit show that's been #1 for 12 years. I have other things to do with my time. Oh, I hate them both.
Let's. Both of them, you start arguing with pigs, you're going to get dirty. So, go get in the pig trough.
And, of course, Stephen A's not in the locker. Stephen A's not on a beat.
No.
Like, I get it.
But he's right. Do you think that anybody around the league, including the Phoenix Suns, go, yeah, that guy's a stellar leader? Did anybody jump out? Did Devin Booker jump in to defend? You don't know.
No.
Did anybody step forward from any of the teams that Kevin Durant has ever been on? Has anybody stepped up and said, man, that Kevin Durant, that guy does not take any crap in the locker room. It's his way to win a championship or nothing. No, he's a merc. He's a mercenary. He's a hired hand. He's here to do one thing, to get his, and that'll help you get yours.
The article here that I'm reading on The Athletic brings up the last year when he was on First Take, and Stephen A. read a text message from an anonymous NBA source that said Jaylen Brown's got an attitude problem. And Jaylen Brown was like, he on Twitter said, state your source then.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, like, I could say.
Unnamed basketball source.
I got a source who sent me a text message here that says Rob Thomas has a micropenis. And there's no way to dispute it, right?
Well, you have to ask those that slept with Rob Thomas.
Rob Thompson. Yeah, or, he's better because you're here to respond. Jason Minix has a micropenis.
Well, I mean, that's the sources. You create the problem and offer the solution.
My source is here saying it.
You can say, but the fact is, if by that, and I'll not use any specific name, everybody that was around him said, yeah, not much, not going on down there. Then you go, by inference, even though I was told by this, I have other sources that are on the side.
Right.
I can put together the full picture. I can put together the full picture on you, Kevin Durant. You ain't, and that's not, you're a Hall of Famer. You are a cheat code. You're one of the greatest to ever put a ball on the court. You are a walking bucket who deserves every bit of accolades. The one thing you're not, though, is a guy that people decide to follow.
It is funny because KD got a lot of love as a leader in Oklahoma City.
Well, they're all 18 years old. They're all kids.
And since then, he is not. And and I know that I think part of it is when he went to Golden State, it was just assumed that he was not the leader of that team. And
he wasn't.
No, but I mean, so it was just it was assumed when he got there he was never going to be. So they said, well, he's just got to be along for the ride with somebody.
But I don't know why.
That's how he won.
What bothers me more about the psyche of Kevin Durant, who the hell cares? I mean, seriously, Kevin, you took the time out of your day, comes into your lap. That's his job. Your job is to feed him if you want to. And you decided to do it. You decided to go stand with the loudest talking non-Billy out there. That's what you decided to do. And that defines you as much as him calling you not a leader.
Stephen A. said Durant's one of the great players in basketball history and said he's a very, very good dude. But he also said he has a habit of going after anyone who criticizes his game, whether it's media, players, or fans. He says, I will not disrespect him the way he disrespects me. It's unfortunate that no matter how old he gets, his sensitivity seems to heighten with it and his maturity doesn't, but that's something he has to live with.
The thing is, yes, Stephen A. is absolutely right. There is not one part of that statement that I disagree with.
That he's a really, really good dude?
I don't know. I don't know him, so I can't disagree with that. But everything else, it's true, but it's not, he's not, there's no degradation here. You're a Hall of Famer, Cat. Act like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
My God, you've scored 20,000 points. I mean, whatever it is, you are unstoppable.
But also, do you think that Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant would have let Stephen A. say something like that?
They wouldn't have given Stephen a second. He'd have squashed Stephen A. You going to tell me what? No, Allen Iverson wouldn't have taken any of it. He'd have looked at him sideways. He'd have had his other boys come at him. But no.
Maybe you're right. Maybe now again, this goes back. I mean, KD's sensitivity level is through the roof.
And that's the thing that just why focus on that, dude? Why? You've got rings, you've got everything. You can do whatever you want. And no one, if you decided to go average 35 a game this year, you could.
I think he just moved into 8th on the all-time scoring list. Like, yeah, things are going all right for you.
And he has to find this to, I guess it helps him stay motivated. Maybe it's the Kobe thing, hate everybody, so you come out and attack. But, dude, at some point, you're living a miserable life if you're letting Stephen A. call you a non-leader. And you're not. Admit it. You know what? I'm not. But guess what? I'm a bucket.
Yeah. He is now 2,300 points away from Wilt Chamberlain for 7th on the all-time list.
And you are clapping back at Stephen A. All right, man.
Yeah. Dude, KD is going to be way up on this list by the time he might be the 3rd leading scorer in NBA history by the time he's done with it. He might be 2nd.
It wouldn't shock. He's still got years to go. I mean, he's got 3-4 more years of legitimate basketball still in him.
He is, so let's say, what's a fair, if we say 18 points,
minimum, yeah.
For a season, like, dude, he's at 29,000 now. Michael Jordan's at 32,000.
Oh, he'll pass Michael. 3,000 points? He's got 3,000 points left in him.
Kobe's at 33.6. Karl Malone is 36.9.
Now we're getting into some rare. That's a long way. Get up to 36. That's a lot more points. I'm not sure he's got that.
Does KD have 20% of the points he's scored so far left in the tank?
Oh, yeah.
Then that would get, if he has 20%, that would get him to 3rd all time.
If he can get there. Again, I don't know why he puts himself in this position.
It is
wild. Why do you do this to yourself?
Dude. You're too good of a player for this. You're too good of a player to deal. But also, I don't want to get into the business of defending Stephen A. Smith.
No, I mean, but the thing is, he's right here. And yes, he is in fact a clown. Yes, he is a clown, Kevin Durant. You're both right.
All right, let's talk about the world of non-sports on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have a disabled vehicle, 1604 westbound Boulevardy Road. It's in the left lane. That's about a 10-minute delay. Stop and go from Judson Road. On Loop 410 eastbound Northwest Military Highway, Castle Hills area, this stall has been moved off a main lane, now off to the right shoulder. If you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line. We'll check it out. That number, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
What's up? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its head-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Breakfast Burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of '98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tab when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Do you want control of the process, or are you willing to let your spouse dictate the terms? If you're serious about safeguarding your assets during a divorce, then Barton & Associates is your law firm. As the owner of Barton & Associates, I will ensure my attorneys act swiftly and decisively to protect what's rightfully yours. Be in control of your divorce. Visit TexasDivorce.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
It's showtime, ladies and gents. The Cybertruck. You see these things all the time, right? Now you see them? Have you been seeing them a lot?
Yeah,
I'm seeing them all the time.
And for some reason, I just judge people that drive them. I shouldn't. But if I see you in one, you've gone down a notch. And I shouldn't. I get everybody got real excited and they ordered it and it came in 2 years later and you go, oh, I know it. There's good to it, but I don't know.
Well, they are bulletproof.
Are they?
Yeah. I've seen people shooting bullets at them on YouTube.
Well, I know that I
they're
saw
bulletproof.
Musk talk about the front window is so big that they had to use basically like helicopter glass.
It's amazing.
I mean, yeah, it's just like so
amazing.
Why?
That giant wiper.
Amazing.
Look at the size of that guy's wiper.
Like the glass is so big, it comes with your own homeless person with a bucket and a wiper. Like that, there's not a mechanical wiper. There's a hobo under the hood. He pops up and.
Now I will admit I sat in one, and when you're on the inside, it's pretty nice. It's the outside of that vehicle that is just. I couldn't do it.
Well, this guy. In a neon green Cybertruck.
That's about right. I already like this guy.
Okay. Well, he's a hero.
Good. He should be.
He had rented this Cybertruck, by the way.
He rented a green one.
Rented a neon green Cybertruck on the it's called Turo, the car sharing app. He saw a porch pirate and a guy. You know,
he's driving in his rented green.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He saw a porch pirate run into his car with a package in his hand. Cybertruck catches up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Won't let him take a left turn.
Yeah, you do this in a rental, by the way.
Forced the car to plow into a tree.
That's a good man right there.
And then what did he do?
Hope he plowed into a tree with his. No?
He plowed that Cybertruck into the car.
Yes.
And made a sandwich of the car and the tree.
See, that's a Cybertruck's highest and best use, right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like he's like Batman.
I'm telling you, now scrap that thing, go get a real truck.
He said, I'm about to find out how good Turo's insurance is. Hopeful that it all works out. But
Bro, you wrecked my truck.
Down to one car for a little while.
Bro, you wrecked my truck for an Amazon box full of towels.
I said it was an $800 rental from Friday to Monday.
You wrecked my truck.
800.
And he said apparently the neighborhood was having burglary issues all week. He doesn't even know what was in the package.
It wasn't worth the Cybertruck, I can tell you that.
It says vigilante justice aside, Phelps and most likely so he's the guy who owns the Cybertruck. He's not the guy who was driving it.
Oh, okay. I thought
this is the guy
some dude used it to foil a crime.
Well, no, the guy did. His truck got rented out, and then the guy who rented it
used it to foil the crime.
To be a Batman.
You wrecked my truck.
It also says that while it is bulletproof and is
bulletproof,
it's also got a reputation for being nearly impossible to repair. Which I guess that if it's nearly impossible to break, I suppose it becomes then nearly impossible to repair, right?
I would assume, but it doesn't surprise me.
Like if there was something that was unbreakable or bulletproof glass and then I shot a bullet through it, you'd probably have to replace the whole
hard
thing.
To repair, yeah.
Yeah, it ain't going to be fixed. So yeah, good job. I mean, it's going to cost him, but good job.
Batman.
We've all heard the story of Peanut the squirrel, who was...
I haven't, but I'm going to act like I do. Is this like is this like a kid's book?
Oh.
Peanut the squirrel goes to town.
Peanut the squirrel.
Peanut goes to the doctor.
Have you heard of Peanut the squirrel, Vic?
Yeah, I heard a little bit of it.
No, see, I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not cool. Is Peanut alive or dead? Before you tell me the story.
Peanut is dead.
Oh, here we go.
This is a political hot button topic.
Oh no. Is this a Rambo? Was Peanut?
Peanut was
too early.
He was seized as an illegal pet, harboring undomesticated animals. They seized him and had him euthanized.
Where was he?
In New York.
Where was he when he was seized?
In his apartment.
Oh, you're not allowed to have squirrels in your apartment?
No. Nope. He had Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and the Chemung County Health Department got a search warrant and showed up at Mark Long. Oh, it was at his farm, not an apartment. He has like a property, but they lived in his house.
Well, why would they kill the? I guess because he couldn't live out. See, that's part of the book. That's the next book.
But they said they showed up and they asked questions that had nothing to do with the pets. They said the first question was, "Do you have cameras in your house?" So what Mark, the guy who lost his pet, says is he believes the original reason they came out there was because he and his wife are big on OnlyFans and have been doing pornography on OnlyFans.
They weren't using Peanut as a prop, were they?
I don't think so.
Peanut wasn't an unwilling participant in some sort of weird act.
And Mark and his wife also, but besides being OnlyFans porn stars, they also babysit some of the neighborhood children. And some people are thinking that the reference to the camera is evidence that that they think maybe there was
some activity going on,
that children were exposed to some things they shouldn't have been exposed to. But when they didn't find any proof of that,
they killed their squirrel.
They killed the squirrel.
Well, Peanut,
even though there was proof the squirrel did not have rabies.
What's the proof?
Well, he had said
look at him. He looks fine.
He had bitten Mark several times and never shown any symptoms.
And Mark's not rabid? Look,
Mark's
I'm not
rabid.
So you're telling me the squirrel bites?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not so much worried about the squirrel. It's the raccoon that you brought up there. Rocky the raccoon,
they don't
who's
Fred
frothing.
the raccoon.
Fred that's frothing at the mouth over on the corner.
They don't talk much about
See,
the
that's
raccoon.
what I'm talking about.
I don't know if the raccoon was euthanized or not is the issue. Every time I see a raccoon, I like someone on the internet has a pet raccoon. I'm like,
yeah,
that looks fun. I would have a pet raccoon.
No, you don't want a raccoon. They're criminals at heart.
That's what I hear.
They have a larcenist heart. How did they euthanize Peanut? Did they let him go and just pick him off? Did they crack his neck like a chicken? Did they crack it?
I would guess they did it humanely with like a shot, like they would euthanize a cat.
Okay, I didn't know.
I mean, what do you think? They held him down and chopped his head off with a hatchet and said, "Ha! Here's your squirrel."
Well, why take it back?
That'd be crazy.
Well, you just take care of it and just throw it in the backyard.
No,
it's a squirrel. What, are we going to give a squirrel a burial?
Okay, first of all, if they did that, if the government did that, this would be the wildest story ever.
Well, how they dispatch the animals should be the least of your worries.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Was it like a summary execution? Like, did they take him out back and just off the squirrel in the backyard?
I think they took it to a vet and had it.
It's a tree rat.
They had it lightly killed. What are we talking about here? We're talking about a squirrel.
Yeah.
So it was delicately and humanely.
It was humanely
we
euthanized.
sang songs, and we read little squirrel books to him as he crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah. And then we went and found another one that looked just like him.
Well,
I want a raccoon. It'll be cool to have.
It would be cool, right?
Yeah, you're the next HBO series.
Raccoon King.
You're going to be talking to your raccoon like it's your wife.
I'm going to be Raccoon King.
Hey, honey, use that opposable thumb and bring me a beer.
That bitch Carol Baskin ain't taking my raccoons.
It doesn't work out. My last wife's now a hat.
Me and my husband gonna have all the raccoons we gonna have. You ain't saying nothing about it, Carol Baskin. All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the daily line, see if we can make some money betting some sports today. Even though there's not a lot of sports going on, thanks to
there's other lines.
There's something else happening today. I guess we'll talk about that too. The odds on that. But first, I got to tell you about Carbach. You know who's going to be in tomorrow?
Someone from Carbach?
Yeah, my old buddy Eric Warner, who is the head brewer, the Brewmeister.
I'd like to be known as a Brewmeister.
Oh, what a life, right? Brewmaster from Carbach's going to come in and talk about some of the finer wares that Carbach produces. He'll be in on our little program tomorrow, and boy, do they produce some fine wares over there at Carbach. I was at their tap room in Houston a couple weeks ago. Oh, my God. They got about 13, 14 different beers on tap. Fantastic. But, and the food, by the way, is awesome there. But it doesn't matter because they bring their beer to San Antonio now. They're making a big push into San Antonio. And the stuff that you think, they're not going to have that at my local bar. They're not going to have that at my the restaurant where I eat at. They probably do, man. Just ask. Love Street is almost everywhere. It's the light drinking, Kolsch-style blonde that is really kind of a fits any moment type of beer, but great with a burger, great with pizza. Hopadillo, the IPA, that is their flagship IPA. That's all over the place. And Crawford Bock, which is my favorite of their everyday beers, is just great for any occasion. Good as the cold picks up a little bit. You want something a little more heavier than that blonde, then Crawford Box a great way to go. Either way, when you're out and about, like you know it's going to be at your grocery store. You know it's going to be at the liquor store. But at your bars, your restaurants, you want to try something new. You want to upgrade your drink. You want to try something better. Ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
JCPenney has more gifts, bigger savings for every holiday wish list. Celebrate the season that never stops giving. From denim to diamonds, PJs to perfume, and mixers to massagers, we're giving you more options than ever at a value that helps you give a little extra. Looking for more bright ideas? We've got the big brands everyone wants. From Levi's to Legos, there's more to love for them and you. All the deals, all the feels, all the gifts to go around. JCPenney. Make it count.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
JCPenney has more gifts, bigger savings for every holiday wish list. Celebrate the season that never stops giving. From denim to diamonds, PJs to perfume, and mixers to massagers, we're giving you more options than ever at a value that helps you give a little extra. Looking for more bright ideas? We've got the big brands everyone wants. From Levi's to Legos, there's more to love for them and you. All the deals, all the feels, all the gifts to go around. JCPenney. Make it count.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94-1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94-1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, this is Greeny. Join me today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right. Not a lot of sports going on tonight, but there are some. So I guess we might as well take a look at the Daily Lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House. San Antonio's premier card house located at 281 in Bitters. I was there yesterday. Had a little $75 buy-in. Ended up doing a three-way chop for the top prize.
Was that a handshake or did somebody say I'm out?
No, we said, we all three had about the same chip stack. And we said, well, we could play this out or we could just all go home with about $740. And that's what we decided to do.
I'd have been in it. Like, sit down. I'm taking all your money.
Okay.
Back off.
You could have done that.
Taking your money.
But sometimes when the work's done, you just want the work to be done and you want to go home with some money in your pocket.
Bunch of suckers.
Yeah. And one guy was like, well, do you guys mind if I sign on the first place line so I could feel like I could go tell my wife I got first place? I said, sure, buddy. Yeah, you go ahead and tell your wife you got first place. You're a hero.
All right, man.
Conquering hero.
Dude, I get it.
We all got the exact same
Look,
amount.
buddy, I won. Can I go back tomorrow?
We got all the exact same amount of dollars, but hey, tell your wife whatever you want. Let's take a look at some of the lines, and we'll start with the election. The current odds on the election, and this is according to BetMGM, as of, I guess, about 30 minutes ago. Donald Trump about minus 160, minus 165. Kamala Harris plus 140. The implied odds there are 60% to 40%. Donald Trump's about a 60% favorite here.
But that's chasing money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not about who you think you're going to win. This is who you're going to bet on to win the most possible money.
Yes. And they do it in a state-by-state breakdown as well. If you think Donald Trump is going to win Texas, that is minus 5,000.
Yeah, I think you're safe. You have to lay some money down.
If you think that Kamala is going to win Texas, you get plus 1,000. If you think Donald Trump is going to win California, you get 30 to 1 on your money. You
That's
bet.
not bad.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take that number.
Bet $100, you win 3,000.
Bring it.
If you think Kamala's going to win California, you got to lay 10,000 to win 100. So there are obviously that brings us to the swing states. That's what everybody's talking about. Who's going to win these swing states? Arizona, Trump minus 400, Harris plus 250.
See, that doesn't reflect the polls.
No.
That does not reflect what we've seen on the ground.
And what we've seen recently is this Iowa thing. Suddenly there's kind of a shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading about this, that's where the Des Moines Register poll, whatever it is, the seat register, is it Seltzer?
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent. They saw Trump in 16. They got it right in 20, and the last poll before the poll had Harris with a 2-point lead inside the area of variance, but they did have her with a lead, which was unprecedented in the Midwest for any Republican, any Democrat.
So yeah, listen, there's a couple of these states that it's Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
It's just going to be such a long day.
It really is.
It's going to be just be kind to each other. We're all in this together.
Michigan has Harris minus 225, Trump plus 175. That's one of the big three they're saying today that will decide it. Pennsylvania is, I think it's the closest on the board. Minus 120 Trump, even money on Harris. And then Wisconsin is minus 160 Harris, plus 125 on Trump.
Those actually do reflect the polls.
Yeah, so it's gonna be tight, man. I honestly have no idea what's gonna happen. But Harris has gotten a bump from the Wisconsin and Iowa polls. Pennsylvania is bumped. That Maris poll has bumped her in those states. So, but again, the last two elections, the big favorite heading into the election did not win.
No.
So
that's why this is not about who you think is going to win. This is how you think you're going to make some money.
It is absolutely not. All right, now let's look at what if you don't want to watch any of that stuff tonight, you want something else to bet on? We got something else. College football. Maction, Tuesday night Maction.
Hasn't really caught on. Not like Big Monday. Tuesday night Maction.
I wish they would do Tuesday night Maction all year, to be honest.
Mac basketball's pretty good.
We've had some really crummy, I guess there's been some Sun Belt. It's been some bad football. And not like the MAC is good football, but it's what I'm used to on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Bowling Green's at Central Michigan. Bowling Green, a 14-point favorite.
They're pretty good.
They are pretty good, actually. And Miami of Ohio is at Ball State. They are a 12-point favorite on the road. So a couple road favorites in Maction.
Sounds like much better basketball games. I'm sorry. If this was basketball night, I'd tune into both.
Generally, Tuesday night Maction, you give me double digits, I'm going to take double digits because something crazy happens.
So you don't like Bowling Green on this?
I won't. I would not lay 14 points on the road on Tuesday night. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's too crazy. There is some hoop tonight. Florida International's at Rice. Rice a 6-point favorite at home. Evansville's at North Texas. North Texas laying 13.5 at home. Kansas State in action. Big 12, 30.5-point favorites over New Orleans, the Privateers. Texas Tech. No Rob Thompson on this roster.
No, they're winning, actually.
They're 31-point favorites.
Who they playing?
Bethune-Cookman. Arizona State, a 17.5-point favorite over Idaho State. BYU, 33.5-point favorites against Central Arkansas. UC Davis catching 15 at Washington. And San Francisco, the San Francisco Treats. The Dons, actually.
Right?
Yeah. Minus 22.5. No Bill Russell in action tonight for the Dons.
No, that's fine.
Against Cal Poly. Cal Poly catching 22.5 points. Wanted to take a look at an early look at the college football stuff this week. Texas 21.5 against Florida.
Best thing that could have possibly happened to Texas is this game, because Florida had
lost their quarterback.
They're on quarterback number 3 now.
I think Florida could have won the game last week if they wouldn't have lost their quarterback.
I agree, and this will be a good game for Texas because Florida's talented, but they're just this is a perfect game coming off a bye for UT. Just enough to keep you active, but not so much you're afraid.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. TCU hosts Oklahoma State. TCU minus 11. Oklahoma State's hurting. Gundy's coming out having to make excuses. Like,
his longest serving coach in certainly Big 12. Is he in college? I mean, how long has he been there?
He's got to be up there amongst the longest in college.
But, as we've seen the game kind of get past Dabo and some of these guys that have been around a minute that have these standards that they have been very successful living by and coaching by, and have the landscape change like this, you have to kind of start questioning, is Gundy up to the task of providing a successful program without the cover of OU in a different, you know what I mean?
Yep.
This is tough because I think Gundy deserves the benefit of the doubt here, but 6 straight losses. They've lost some signees over the last couple of games. They had a Heisman candidate to start the year that has just gotten lost. It's just a mess up there. Mess.
Mike Gundy tied with Kyle Whittingham of Utah for the second longest tenured coach.
He deserves another He deserves more time, but the prognosis ain't good for that program under Gundy.
So Mike Gundy and Kyle Whittingham got hired in 2005. The longest tenured coach got hired in 1999. Can you think of who it is?
I don't.
Kirk Ferentz,
Oh, he's
Iowa.
Still there. That's
Still
right.
there,
Kirk's
man.
still in Iowa.
Still there. Yeah, Dabo, 5th on that list at Clemson. Troy Calhoun of Air Force is 4th on the list.
Still running that veer.
It ain't working all of a sudden. It's like he might fall off that list pretty soon. Let's just put it that way. Alabama and LSU, maybe the marquee matchup, at least for brand purposes of the weekend. Alabama, a 3-point road favorite.
This is an execution
at the
game.
Bayou Bengals.
You
That'll be a
lose,
good
you
one.
go home.
I think you're right.
This
yeah,
is it.
100% on that. Let's see what else is of note. Miami, 11-point favorites at Georgia Tech. In a game that obviously they're going to need to win. Texas State, 7-point road favorites at Louisiana Monroe. Michigan at Indiana.
Come on, Hoosiers. They're going to beat them.
-14.
Yeah, they're going to beat them. I don't know if they're going to beat them by.
14.
You know what? I take that number. At home, that offense is busting, and Michigan ain't what they were even against Texas.
When's Michigan going to score?
Yeah.
Georgia, 2.5-point favorites on the road at Ole Miss. That'll be a good game, too.
Shootout. Loser goes home.
Army's at North Texas. Army laying 5.5 on the road. Total, 63.5. Who is stopping who here? North Texas's defense is, it's like it's Halloween decorations. There's 11 Halloween decorations in green costumes on the field. They don't move. They're terrible. And North Texas's offense is legit. This is gonna be a high-scoring game.
This
Bubba.
feels trappish for Army. This is the game. They got to get
so?
through. Oh, on the road against a team that can hang 50 on you.
Yeah.
This is trappish.
Iowa State laying 3 at Kansas. Imagine that they were about to be a playoff team. Now they're 3-point favorites against Kansas. Clemson -6.5 at Virginia Tech. Same thing. They were a playoff team. They suck. How about this one? Colorado at Texas Tech. Colorado laying 3.5 on the road.
That's about right. But although that Tech win last weekend, that's a big one. McGuire, that might be one of those signature wins that Tech needed.
South Carolina -3.5 at Vanderbilt.
Have you seen that quarterback?
Diego Pavia.
No, I'm talking about that other one, that Moose that plays quarterback for South Carolina.
A couple fun quarterbacks in this game.
This is going to be a fun football game. I like Vandy just because Pavia's he's the next Baker Mayfield. I worship what he does.
Oklahoma catching 1 at Missouri.
God.
How Oklahoma has fallen.
Here, let me show you all our Heisman trophies. Come over. Don't pay attention to the current team. Let me show you the Heisman Garden.
Pay no attention to what you're seeing on the field.
Oh, man.
Boise, a 24-point favorite against Nevada.
See, they gotta beat them by 24 too. They gotta have to hang it on them.
Penn State 13.5 hosting Washington. I don't know.
They're gonna destroy Washington.
I think Penn State might be feeling sorry for themselves. Although who knows, James Franklin.
James gonna put some on them. They're gonna punish Washington for this.
BYU -4 at Utah.
Come on, Utah. Come on, Ty. Come on, Ty. Just give us one.
That's what we're hoping for, man. That's what we're hoping for. So there you go. There's a look at the college football coming up this weekend. In the NFL this weekend, at least the early lines. Thursday, Ravens -6 hosting the Bengals. Other noteworthy games: Steelers +3 at Washington. It's kind of a low-key, decent game. I don't know that it will be fun to watch. I don't know if any Steelers game is fun to watch.
I like Pittsburgh here.
I think I do too. I've been feeling like Washington's kind of overrated. Maybe a spot to fade them. The Bills are -4 at Indy.
They're going to run away from them.
I would think so. The Falcons are -3.5 at the Saints. Doesn't that feel like a trap? I guess it's the new coach bounce.
Yeah, it's the freedom from Dennis Allen.
My goodness.
But realistically, it is it's a blood and guts game. These two teams hate each other, but that's a silly line. That's silly.
Chiefs -9 hosting the Broncos. I guess I'll be betting the Denver Broncos 9 points again. The Chiefs will win by 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. Niners -6 at Tampa.
Baker, baby. That's the
Your
Baker
boy.
effect.
That's your boy.
Just goes out there and slings it.
Chargers laying 7.5 hosting Tennessee.
Hopefully they're going to do it with Mike Williams on the side. Why run?
Well, the Jets +1 at Arizona. What a game, folks. What a
darkness
game. Been through the darkness. All right, here we go. Here's the big one. The Philadelphia Eagles in Dallas. Eagles -7.5.
Oh, see, the problem here is they should beat the Cowboys by 21 points, but Sirianni is an idiot. So they're not going to give the ball to Saquon. They're going to let Jalen roll around and throw a touchdown pass here or there, and they're going to win by 10 points. But they should beat them by 21.
And the Sunday night feature, Detroit at Houston. What's projected line there? Houston, the home team.
Detroit and 5. Detroit and 5.
3.5.
3.5. I like Detroit.
Do
even
you?
more after this morning.
That's tough, man. I generally give on standalone games. I like underdogs. I like home teams. Home dogs are hard to pass on Sunday night games.
I
don't know. That offensive line is pathetic.
That's not what you want to be when you're going against that defensive line. Even without Aiden, they've just picked up another guy that can get at you, and you got to score on every other possession to keep up with those guys.
And then Rams -2.5 hosting the Dolphins on Monday night.
Not big enough.
I like the Rams.
Yeah, man.
I'd touch that number before it got to 3. I don't believe in these Dolphins. Dolphins are trash. Suck it, Dolphins. There you go. That is the Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house, 281 in Bitters. I'll see you out there on the tables. Not today, though. I'm going to go take a nap today, Bubba.
You're due. You're due. Last night was one of the busiest sports nights I've had in a long time. There were literally 5 different things I wanted to watch all at once.
I think there are some hockey games on tonight for those of you, because I think people are wanting to avoid, Canadians. They're not.
They don't care.
They're not worried about that old election. They got a full slate of hockey games.
They're not sorry.
We'll see you tomorrow. There'll be a president of the United States, maybe, or something.
We'll drink some beer. Talk beer anyway.
This is 94.1 San Antonio.